Hello, everybody. We're back. So we're just going to dive on in back to the session. So, picking up right where we left off in the town of Wheat Hill. Our group of adventurers had found themselves in this city in the hopes to get down to what's happening here, the relation that it has to Asmodeus and Eurydice, and in turn the Dark One. How are all of these pieces at play? Knowing that Asmodeus originally wanted Eurydice to come here to level the entire town, saying that this town was lost. There was no way to help it or to save it. It just needed to be destroyed in order to prevent the Dark One from growing his ever-present army. Eurydice not exactly wanting to do that, wanting to get a little bit more information before she made any rash decisions like that. So, the party arrives in Wheat Hill and they begin their investigation. They learn of approximately 3 big players in the town aside from Day, Asmodeus, and the Dark One. One being the Huntsman, an entity or individual, this sort of like mythic folklore of this ranger who comes to the surrounding area every once in a while to try and help when they can. And in this turning of the seasons, they are here now. So, with that, that is one player that you know to exist here. The second one being the Children of the Flame, which you have already encountered in the town of Midglen and heard stories about before then. Being led by the incomparable Draven Hunt, you learn that everything might not be as it seems with him, considering the comments that you heard him say under his breath as all of you were quickly making your escape from the bubble of evil that was near the Temple of Palor. And then third and finally, a player who just introduced themselves to you today, this morning, an entity that was able to speak to you through your dreams, that was able to commune with all of you and cause these nightmare-like flashes of trauma before all of you. As eventually this head, this form began to appear in the sky, thinly opaque, and covered, shrouded in dust and smoke. A porcelain mask with runes on it, a mouth that didn't move, and 2 small, beady, alien black eyes behind said mask. Looking down at all of you and saying that you needed to leave. Being in this city, you would cause more harm than good. Leave the city before dusk and never return. The party awakening from their nightmarish state after realizing that the food and drink that they've been eating since they've been in Wheat Hill has been poisoned to a degree, has been infected. They were able to persuade and intimidate to a small degree the innkeeper Isolda to stop from doing that anymore. So with that, they have to continue on their investigation of the supposed dark friends within the city and what's happening here. They know that the Children of the Flame have had no problem killing people in the town, as 3 people have already been killed and strung up to show the might of the Children of the Flame and what they're willing to do against those who work in part with the Dark One. So, knowing about our 3 players, the Huntsman, the Children of the Flame, and this Dream Walker, our party now has a fair bit of direction. A lot of questions, but they at least have places they can go to try and get answers. So with that, our party will do exactly that, and they're going to make their way out of Merchant's Last Coin this early morning and make their way down to the Temple of the Divines as they have a meeting with Bishop Ieda in an effort to use Speak with Dead on one of the corpses that was strung up at the hunt, or the Keep of the Hunt, where the Children of the Flame and Draven Hunt, in turn, have been staying. So, with that, unless there was anything else all of you were talking about, you do arrive outside the Temple of the Divines, and it is up to you how you would like to approach, or if you'd like to speak about anything before you enter.
I got nothing.
Nah.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. So with that, the sounds of the town fade behind you as you enter in to this temple. And as you enter, you can see that Bishop Aida finds you, solemn look on her face, but as she approaches your group, the ASMR woman says to all of you, well, I've procured the body. Her golden eyes, a shimmer of sadness to them. It is downstairs. It's been prepared for the funeral. You maybe have 2 hours. There'll be a few servants of the Raven Queen who will come, and they'll take the body to where it'll be, I believe, for Dolores' family buried. So, do what you wish. And
Real quick, and I promise this won't take much time, but... And Nelf's going to, as quickly as he can, explain everything that has happened this morning, for sake of brevity, and just see if this entity rings any bells, since she's been here for what seems to be at least some time.
yeah, her and Bishop Redemny, I think, about a month and a half, 2 months now.
Yeah, like if they've had any interaction with this person, thing, creature, or, you know, and just kind of update her what's been happening at the tavern as well.
Oh my. Well, I can say for a fact that I've had no interaction with anything like that. What I can say is, it seems to me that this individual that came some time ago before my arrival, who was the person selling that root, the marsh poisonberry, if I'm understanding correctly, if a small dose can cause someone to have more heightened senses, I think then this person may have sold this well knowing that it could also cause nightmares to be more potent. A physical reaction on top of the mental one that one has.
Right. They knew what they were doing when they sold it to her.
But that must have meant that the person who sold it already knew what was happening. The nightmare started, what, a year and a half ago, perhaps, about then. So, and then this person showed up 6 months ago. So use what you said.
Right.
So then, well, perhaps there's something more there. What I can do is I can take a few, perhaps there might be a few individuals, worshippers of Eloin, in the nearby groves and forests. Make sure that any of the water supplies haven't been contaminated at all, either.
Might be a good idea.
Last thing we want is that all the crops in this part of the Riverlands to be infected with this thing, and so all of the wheat and grain that has been sent out of here grown with that. Hopefully not.
Well, we appreciate it, but if we don't have much time, we should go and...
Follow me. I'll stay down there with you. So, with that, she will lead you down deeper into the Temple of the Divines until eventually you do arrive into the sort of cooling chamber, this area where bodies can be stored as they're being either processed or examined if something's happening. It's a fairly small room. Looks to be there's only 6 slabs of stone in here, and it's very cold. You can see your breath as you exhale when entering, where it's definitely below freezing in here. So with that, you can see one body as I said, a dark elf woman, Alora, currently being held down here, dressed, ready for a funeral, whatever her family may decide to do. So, as you approach the body, it is up to you what you'd like to do.
We wanted to speak with dead, not last damage, right?
Yeah, speak with dead.
Okay. What do we want to ask it before I cast it? I mean, it's 10 minutes, but still, like, do we want to, like, kind of come up with some points you want to hit?
3 questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a specific limit on the quiz. 3 to 5, I think.
Are they compelled to answer?
Not truthfully.
Okay, I'll just read the whole thing.
Oh,
You grant allowing any questions. The corpse must have a mouth or can't be undead. No. Until the spell ends, you can ask the corpse up to 5 questions. Okay, there it is. The corpse knows only what it knew in life, including the languages it knew. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive. The corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer if you are hostile to it or recognizes you as an enemy. And then technical stuff about it doesn't bring it back to life. Okay. I think that's the points we needed.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's silly, just ask outright, but like, you a dark friend though?
Yeah, I mean, we have
like,
no reason to say,
yeah.
How are you doing? Like,
yeah, but it's like, and making it clear, like, we want to know if all this music though. We want to know if the Children of the Flame are actually doing their jobs. Like, I guess phrasing it in a way that's like, we're not here to accuse you of being a dark friend. We're asking, are you really? And if not, we aren't here to like not believe you. I don't know, but I think we just have to ask it outright.
I think 5 simple questions are good enough. So if our first question pertains to just straight up, are you a dark friend? Then and then we have 4 others.
We can ask at some point if we think the Children of the Flame actually suspected that they were, or if this person thinks they were like framed or some shit by the Children.
Going on to that, like, why the Children of the Flame was targeting them anyways, because like obviously we heard that like these people were doing apparently sketchy shit, but if it is this thing of just like, oh well, I don't know why they're targeting me, like I haven't done anything, or it could have been like, oh, they thought like this thing I was doing was this, like I don't know. I feel like it's a
Here's
way
the
to get
strategy.
people and the Children of the Flame through it.
So that's 2 questions.
Is Draven Hunt a dark friend?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm convinced he is as well.
Eurydice, do you want?
Well, that's rude.
Do you want to ask?
He's literally
any
made of
questions
fire.
He's a
about
bitch.
if they have memories about anything pertaining to stuff that you're curious about, since because obviously, like, what's probably going to happen is we're going to ask question 1. They're going to give a very brief answer, and then we're going to have to inquire. So I'm going to do it down a list of importance so that, whatever questions at the bottom, we're kind of like, if we don't get that one, it's okay. But like, we need to know if they're a dark friend. It would be nice to know about the Children of the Flame stuff. And then we got 3 others of like, if we have the questions to do so.
Yeah, we could always like ask for their opinion, I guess, of what's going on, or like something like that.
Okay.
Like,
We
just
could
see if
ask
they
know
knew something.
anything about the nightmares or something.
Do you have any insight about the nightmares happening in the town? Okay.
It's like they've
And then
been
we'll
here,
just-
so it's just
yeah.
like, assuming they were there when all the temple shit happened, so.
Okay, actually, we could probably just leave it at 3, because let's
Yeah.
say, what if they say, yes, I am a dark friend?
Yeah.
'Cause we're
Yeah, what do we do
assuming
with that?
innocence right now. What do we want to come up with 2 that are like, if they're a dark friend, these are ones that we can ask.
Well, we can ask what. It's a thing of if they're going to be open about it, but like, what their purpose was almost. Like.
Yeah, what was the plan?
Yeah.
What?
We could ask about Asmodeus if they say yes. Because we can be like, well, why are there totems
yeah.
to Asmodeus that are now broken?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
they know anything about what was happening with the little statuette thingies in the temple,
Yeah.
rituals and all that.
And
Yeah.
okay, statuette things. Okay, I think I have enough questions that, depending however the conversation goes, off question 1, we should be prepared enough
Yeah. We know what we
for
want.
all 5.
Are you a dark
Okay,
friend?
cool.
I am the dark one.
Damn.
We didn't prepare for this. Abort! Abort!
We gotta get out of here. Okay. Well, Lila, it's a 10-foot radius, but Lila will not radius, distance. Jesus Christ. Will come forward. It is a ritual, I believe. Nope, just one action. Never mind. It's quick as fuck. So she will just come forward, place her hand on her holy symbol, and then look toward the eyes of the corpse, and cast it, saying, "Would you please rise?"
As the corpse is sitting there ever still, the dark charcoal gray skin of the drow woman has begun to pale with her slow decomposition, even especially from being outside for so long. You can tell that the priest and priestesses of this temple have gone a long way to try and restore her body to a presentable degree. And even with that, you can still tell that there are visible damages as you look into it, and you speak, and you can see this colorful wisps of green and purple and blue, these northern lights emerging out of your hand and sort of wrapping around in different areas around the head and face, seeping into the skin, causing a dull green glow underneath the skin as you can see the eyes slowly open and the back slowly rises as the corpse comes to life, looking to you, Lila, ready to answer your questions.
Do we have just flavor? Do we have their name? They said it, right?
Alora.
Alora. Alora, in life, were you a follower of the Dark One, a dark friend?
A voice rings back out to you, modified by the magic.
I serve no Dark One. I just wanted my home to be safe. To tend the trees. To help the people of my town.
Why were you targeted by the Children of the Flame then?
In truth, I believe because I tried to leave. They came to question me. I answered honestly and truthfully. And then I had a dream. Some creature spoke to me. Its form human, but so strange. Scaled. Told me I was in danger, and I needed to leave. So I packed my things and I left. And as I got to the gate, they stopped me. They claimed I was running because I was a dark friend. They tortured me. I screamed for hours. And I told them the truth.
Do you have any insight or knowledge about why there are nightmares all over town?
I know not why there are nightmares, but I do know as that the only nightmare anyone in this town should fear is the man who laughed as they tortured me.
What was the name of that man?
Draven Hunt, the one who came to save us, but has done nothing but hurt us.
Should I have one more question, don't I?
Yep, you do.
Okay. Is there anything regarding Draven Hunt or the Children of the Flame that you now know that you didn't previously that you want people alive still to know?
In my last moments of life, I remember it so vividly. There was him and 5 others in the room, and a creature dressed in black, eyeless gaze, a gnashing maw, hundreds of teeth, stabbed me with a dark blade, and the connection that my soul felt to this realm was shattered. And that creature, it was like I was seeing double. Like its own shadow was coming to life.
With that, you can see as the 5th question is answered, the form, the eyes, deprived of energy from your divine magic, as the body slowly falls back into its neutral position as the spell fades.
Lila will walk closer to the body and place her hand over the body's heart and say, "Thank you. Thank you for that insight. I hope you find rest." I'm assuming everyone else got to hear that. Did Lila only hear that?
Nope,
Because if she
everybody
did,
heard
she
it.
would share.
Because it was
Okay.
a 10-foot radius, right?
Yeah, like distance.
Yeah, so everybody, if it has a distance, then to me that's like, okay, everybody in that range can hear the spell as it goes back and forth.
Awesome. Okay.
It's just you're the only person who can ask questions, that's all.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Can I ask a question about the Children of the Flame as Kayla?
You may, Kayla.
Okay. Is Hrothgar above Hunt, or did Hunt take over for Hrothgar?
Hrothgar, yeah. So the thing is, Hrothgar...
What's the hierarchy right
now? So the
now?
hierarchy, yes. So currently, you all as a group do not know who the Lightbearer is, which is the person in charge of the faction. But you do know that Draven Hunt is Cindered, which Cindered is pretty
high, yeah.
It's one of 12 people who are in constant communication with the Lightbearer.
Uh-huh.
So Draven is sort of on a council in constant communication with the Lightbearer, so he's fairly high trusted, and he has a lot of sway within the faction. But he is not Lightbearer. He is not the leader.
Who's Lightbearer again?
You guys don't know.
Oh, okay. Does
He-
Kayla know? Am I dumb?
If
No.
you watch Salamander Coast, Kayla knows.
Well, it hasn't been
Oh!
confirmed yet.
Oh, the
hasn't
new
happened yet.
Lightbearer.
The new
yeah,
Lightbearer
The
has
new
not been
Lightbearer. The
Yeah.
new.
Yeah. Rothgar's
Yeah,
just been
he's dead.
regrowing his arm. That's like
It-
the last we've heard of
Yeah.
him.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I was. Okay.
No,
Things
yeah,
are
so
in
nobody-
shambles.
Yeah, it's assumed that it's probably Hrothgar, but that hasn't been
But
confirmed yet.
Okay.
at all.
Okay. That's where my brain was. Okay,
No, so your assumption was right. It's just there's no confirmation to that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
so
didn't.
you're
I
good.
wasn't aware of like how many cindered because like I didn't know. Yeah. Okay. I mean, this is good information.
Yeah, this was really
regardless.
good. I know. I was
Uh,
like, look, we could ask more questions about this, but I'm like, I think we need to ask more questions about what the fuck
I mean, yeah, we
happened.
just fucking confirmed that this bitch is a dark friend, 1000%.
Yeah, the
Um,
description matches a Bon Sheen.
Yeah, nah, I got
Okay,
that.
all right.
Nah, Dravenhunt is a fucking dark friend. Nah, confirm.
Oh my god. Lila's literally gonna turn around and say it just like that.
Aida's like, oh wow. Well,
I'm so sad. Like,
Aida, how many children of the flame are inside the city? If I had to guess, maybe 150?
Wow.
Listen, I feel pretty good about my skill with a warhammer and shield, but I don't know if it's that good.
We
No,
can't do anything with this right now.
Eurydice's right. This is good information, but we can't go calling him out on his bullshit right now.
There is someone we could potentially tell. You remember that woman that came to us a couple of towns back, who talked to me?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's, well, she's presumably above Hunt, right?
kind of.
Technically, because Hidden
weird.
Flame is kind
Hidden
of like
Yeah.
above. She is.
So she would have communication with the Lightbearer, whoever that may be.
Right.
And
If
the
we
Lightbearer
tell
would be
her-
bound to at least take what she has seriously.
Exactly.
But there is none. Not that we know that yet, but.
So we can't do anything. But if we tell her, maybe she can?
I think it's a good idea to let her know our suspicions that
Mhm.
we
Not
have.
suspicions, we know.
Right, but anything that has happened here today has only been witnessed by us in this room. That man is one of the most manipulative people I have ever seen. He has so much station and power over all of us in this room. Yes, we have proof. We have gold hard proof. But that doesn't mean anything. And that's the unfortunate situation we're in. He can twist this and turn it around on us. He's done this to everyone in town. He's done it to this poor woman here and the two that are still hanging.
And in Bromsgrove, he tried to do it to me, and if it weren't for the Dolskis, I would probably be in a similar situation.
So we tell her we have a very strong belief, kind of confirming what Lila said, and we're very confident. But we understand the risk in throwing around an accusation like this. Maybe Eurydice, you can tell her to just look into the matter, keep an eye on him, track his movements. Because he's been unjustly putting people hurting people.
But if we say accusations or beliefs, and that we don't have proof, if she looks into it, she's just going to, potentially, could just be swayed. I feel like we need to say something stronger than just we have reason to suspect.
I'll say we have proof. I'll just say it, but that we have no way to send her that or show her that without this body, and this body is getting buried.
This body has to be buried. She's gone through too much.
I mean, Aida here was a witness to what we saw, but I don't know how much weight that has either. And I don't mean any disrespect, you know that.
No, I understand completely. Bishop Redemny trusts me more than I think anyone else here. I can speak with him about it, and I know that Bishop Redemny has no love for Dravenhunt at all. So, whatever you decide to do, know that the Temple of the Divines is behind you. None of us are great warriors except for those battle priests of Cord, but we still will do what we can.
And there is a way we could... Circle of Truth. We could do that. If it ever came down to it. But if he wants to defend himself, he would have to agree to that. Because innocent people want the truth to be known. So, since we have proof now, there is a way that we could lock him into this. We don't have to pretend or do a reason to believe, because obviously he would lie. But if we say we actually have something that we've been told and confirmed, if it came down to that, we could lock him in a way where he has to tell the truth or choose not to, in which everyone's going to be like, dude, yo, that's pretty sketchy, kind of hate you, maybe we should, I don't know, do something about it.
Right now,
But
he's surrounded
what
by
about the rest
friends.
of the Children of the Flame, though? Exactly. I don't think it's just him, right? I'm sure it would at least include the people that work for him, but...
He did say
He
there was
said-
5 other people.
And
Yeah.
Draven is infamous for his eclectic group of children that he carries with him. Murderers, assassins that have been captured from all over the realms. I'm sure if he said, "You're free of your bonds, go do what you please," maybe Wheat Hill wouldn't be standing in the morning. Who knows how many people were to get hurt if he were to get caught.
Lila, I want this piece of shit ended as much as the rest of us here. But we have to be very careful about this and how we go about it. And you're to see maybe we hold off on telling your friend about this just for now. At least until we figure out what is going on here. Or a better idea at that.
Well, yes, you're right. I didn't even
know.
think about...
Not that I know that I'm right. I know that this is hard.
It's okay, because I think I'm right anyway, so anyway.
You're not wrong, Layla. You're not. No one here is wrong. You all want to do what is right. It's just I don't want to risk these people. Keothi's right. If he wants this town sacked, he can have it.
But what I was thinking next was, clearly, he's dark friend, right? Or at least friends with dark friends. Friend acquaintance, I don't know. Dark acquaintance.
Something like that.
So, we found Osmodius stuff in that temple, and we saw people leave. Granted, we don't know if those people were just, finding the saddest fucking place to find home or call home. Yes, we don't know who they were necessarily, but I think we all kind of assumed they were associated with either the Dark One or Asmodeus, right? So if they were coming in searching for those people, are we thinking, is this the little minor, like, maybe larger scale, but minor in this circumstance, Asmodeus versus Dark One shit going on that's kind of what's happening? And we haven't really met the Asmodeus side? Because it doesn't
that's a
really
good
make sense
thought.
for other dark friends to run from dark friends.
Right.
They were also heading north, and that's where the huntsman is, right?
Right.
I'm not sure how much of an Asmodeus side there is. I mean, I'm
I
part of it unwillingly, but it could be my aunt as well. So I was thinking it wouldn't be completely out of the question. If anything, it's quite likely.
I guess they could have just been taking shelter, though, too, and going to the huntsman. Just a little bit of an odd place to hide.
But I mean, if it's somewhere where people would hopefully not be looking, and even if it seems that, I guess the huntsman's against all these things, he'd surely have an interest then in, well, what was happening in the temple, right?
Right.
Joe?
Yeah.
Those ashes that we found, were those very fresh, or were they slightly old?
They were
In
older.
the-
Definitely weren't fresh.
Okay.
What time of day is it?
At this point, it's maybe, let's see, that's not exactly correct. It's about noon. It's not
Okay.
3
We still got
o'clock
time
yet.
before dusk. Okay.
Yep.
And the husband doesn't want to see us till later tonight.
Yep.
Okay. Lots of questions. Some confirmations of things we probably all were already thinking, especially about Hunt. And some more questions.
Always more questions.
Always more. Maybe we let this woman rest in peace
Mm-hmm.
and we go. And he kind of like looks at Eurydice very gently. Just investigate the Greenleaf marketplace a bit. Right, that's another missing thread in all of this, isn't it?
Yeah. If possible, we talk to my aunt or whoever's pretending to be her. And I'll maybe not say a lot, but I'll watch and I'll try and figure out if this is her or if this is something else or what's going on there.
Alright. How does that sound for everyone else?
Yeah, I think it might bring us more questions again, but I think it's
Not
good
wrong.
to investigate.
Alright.
And just to clarify, you do want me to talk to Redemne, right?
I would say yes.
We know we can trust him, so
Right. I would just keep it between the two of you.
Very well. You have my word.
Thank you for all your help getting this set up and just bringing her peace, hopefully. Thank you, thank you.
Well, sadly, I have a feeling that the only people getting peace are going to be her family. She said her soul was lost, the Dark One. But at least her physical vessel will find some rest. Good luck, and if you need anything else, don't hesitate to ask.
Appreciate
she'll
it.
make her way over to the body, and you can see her just kind of clean up any pieces of fabric that may have gotten folded, kind of realign her arms, and you can see 4 women dressed in black cloth entirely, sort of veils covering their face, make their way down and pull out what looks to be somewhat of a stretcher and set the drow woman on top. And as all of you are leaving, you can see that they're preparing these final rites of the Raven Queen. As all of you begin to exit, heading back up the stairs, Aida stays down there with the body and with those servants of the Raven Queen. So, with that, all of you head back up the stairs, and I'm assuming back out the temple, back out into Wheat Hill. Sounds of the village, sound of the water. And heading to Greenlee Goods and Services. Is that what I understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. You do just that. Head to Greenlee Goods
I love
and
us like
Services.
inchworming over there.
Gotta follow the road. You can't cut through the alleyways. That's sketchy. Okay. Alrighty. So as you make your way over, you can see that there's definitely quite a bit of business here, different market stalls that have been thrown up, people selling goods, buying goods, carts coming in, loading in, or unloading, all these supplies, this constant shifting of trade going on here. A lot of business, a lot of people. So as you enter Greenlee Goods and Services, what exactly are you looking for?
Well, Lila, I think if she can, she'll probably just do one of those like perusing things. She's gonna flavor it as like she knows that her mom's probably like worked with Greenleaf Goods and Services, so if anyone like approaches her, she's just gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just stopping in, doing a little shopping around. My mom's talked about this place. It's great and awesome. What do you got?" Kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. So there are a few people that do approach the group that just kind of like trying to see if they can direct you to where you need to be to make sure you're not in the way of any of the traffic that comes through. And you can see that there is a very thin, live human man, hair that comes down to about his ears, parted in the middle, wearing very fine clothes, with like a small clipboard in his hand. He looks up. Excuse me, is there something I can help all of you find?
Well, while I was in town, so my mother, she's a Tatiana, part of Tatiana's trade. I don't know how much you've personally interacted with her,
Yes,
but
of course, yes.
yeah, so she's just talked about this place and has only ever had good things to say. So I figured I would stop in and just kind of look around, maybe pay a few compliments to the owner, especially since she just only had good things to say. I'd love just to say that she's been spreading the word about you guys and just keep that good relationship open.
Yes, Yara's Mrs. Greenleaf is quite busy, but I'd be more than happy to see if she has any openings today, especially for someone as esteemed as Tatiana herself. I could see if she has anything free, and feel free to peruse. We have a very fine jewelry stand quite right over there. If you'd like to purchase something for your mother, I can guarantee you we have things that would be up to her standard there.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'll absolutely do that. I hope I do get to talk with her. I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of meeting her yet, so.
Meetings far and few between. A very, very busy woman. But yes, I will be more than happy to go find her and see if there is anything I can do. I'll put in a good word for you. You seem quite like the nice young woman.
Thank you. And if we do get to meet, I would love to let her know about what my mother's planning on bringing next. So.
Oh, yes. I'm sure that she would be more than happy to hear that. Is it just a meeting for you or with your entourage as well?
Oh, if they could come with, that would be great. I kind of go everywhere with them right now. They're some of my best friends, so that would be wonderful. But if it's just she can only meet with one person, that's all right. So.
large crowds tend to overwhelm her a bit, but I'll see if I can add some grease to the wheel and figure something out for all of you.
Thank you. And then after he leaves, Lila will whisper into Eurydice's ear, if it's just allowed to be one person, if you want to disguise yourself as me and go, you can.
Maybe
You don't have to.
it might be a good idea. I'm worried I'd freeze up.
I understand. And she'll just leave it at that. We don't have to, because whispering in a crowd, you don't know who's listening. So,
by the way, Joe, Yuri's gonna look around and see if she recognizes anyone, or that dude, or just anyone that's working here that she knows worked with her aunt a lot or something.
Make a perception check.
Okay.
And now look around as well, but he's looking for Children of the Flame.
Make a perception check.
8.
Yeah, it's a little odd to you. There's a lot happening. It's hard to see faces, and especially with how anxious you are, how stressed you are, hard to really recall anything. But as far as you can tell, any of the people who are like workers here that are constantly here, you don't really recognize any of them, which that of itself is strange. And you're not sure if that's just the way that it is or if you're just missing somebody.
I rolled an 18.
18. Yeah, there are, there are maybe 4 or 5 Children of the Flame that are posted up in different areas, sort of the entry points and exit points, just to make sure that no funny business happens within the market stalls.
Are they taking any particular interest in us, or?
These 4 that are here, not necessarily, no.
Okay, and sorry, so the marketplace is kind of like going off of the map. Is it just kind of like multiple different market stalls, but kind of all under the same, like, apparently they have, this is Greenleaf's hay, this is Greenleaf's barley, this, like it's all the same, different products, but the same company, and it's just like...
So it's, kind of, where it is like, you can be your own independent business, but like you're paying for like a place to peddle your goods. So like,
what are the...
where like they're selling land. They're not really selling goods. Like they're providing people a network to exchange goods and providing land for people to sell their goods on. But in terms of actual products that they're creating, it's nothing.
So do the Greenleafs actually have any product at all, or like it's just the name and here's the spot you can rent, and they probably take a percentage of the cut?
Yeah, their product is land. They're landlords.
Okay. Sorry.
And there are people who can form permanent contracts with them that are absorbed into Greenlee Goods and Services. That's why it's Greenlee Goods and Services now, as opposed to just Greenlee Services. Maybe a long time ago when the business was first starting, it would have been a bit smaller, and they, would have been interested in the sale of apples. Now it is just
trying to get an idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's just gonna keep an eye on the Children of the Flame and just kind of keep looking around.
Got it. Sounds good to me. All right. So with that, is there any shopping that anybody's doing while you're here, or are you just kind of waiting for...
Oh, yo, do they have Kingdoms and Castle cards, though?
You're not buying Kingdoms and Castle cards from my fucking evil aunt.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just looking. Nelf will casually
I keep it all together.
Make an investigation.
But, like, alright, dope.
He gives him a look like, bitch, right now, really.
He's gonna, like, give her some puppy dog eyes. Like, what do you mean? Come on.
Lila will probably look for the most expensive items so that if she needs to do any more persuasion to meet this woman, she can clock what she needs to buy to give more of a, Well, I guess that wouldn't really, if it's not their own land, they need land, so.
I bet it shows goodwill.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, though. Ignore me while I think.
Now, what'd you roll for your investigation?
I only rolled a 10.
10. This place is really busy, and it seems like a lot of what they're selling aren't necessarily vanity items like that or games.
Yeah.
a lot of this is tools, supplies, food, things like that.
Valid.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, Hearthcrest, you do hear from a couple of vendors that Hearthcrest has a much larger selection of Kingdoms and Castles cards. In fact, there is a store that is the size of, a general goods store that is dedicated just to games and specifically Kingdoms and Castles cards.
Okay. That's all right. Then, is there anywhere that sells like a little flower vendor or something?
Oh, for sure.
All right. Well, Nalf will buy Eurydice a flower to calm her nerves a little bit.
Aww.
That'll be
Well, I
5
decided
copper
my
pieces.
Got it, dude.
I decided my buying plan was dumb and wouldn't work. So she will look for if a Tatiana stand is open. If I assume her mom wouldn't be here, but maybe a Tatiana stand is up and one of our many workers is there. So
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check, actually.
yeah. I came up with Tatiana's trade right there. I don't even know my mom's name yet, so
Hell yeah.
investigation. A solid 6.
Yeah, I mean, you know that as you're looking around, your family, specifically your mother, does something very similar to Greenlee Goods and Services, where they are sort of this middleman for a lot of things, but with a much larger base of creating their own goods and supplies that they sell. But due to the competition aspect, you're pretty sure after looking around for maybe 10 or 15 minutes that you don't think you're really going to find anybody here that's from your family's store or your family's business.
Cool.
She's wandering around. Yuri wants to quickly get a lowdown from Lila about the Tatiana company. Because if we do end up switching, and Yuri goes and looks like Lila to go and see her aunt, she needs to know a little bit about the company to convince her that she is there about that.
Yeah. So she will kind of say that the Tatiana trade kind of home base obviously is in Hearthcrest, which is why there's such a big market there. So that's really their home base there. But she basically, she and a bunch of different travelers associated under the Tatiana trade name go and throughout the Riverlands, and basically this whole probably stretches throughout all of Iverion, but definitely their main hub is any of the surrounding area of Hearthcrest, and that's where her mom normally ends up, is traveling throughout these back and forth, occasionally to other I'm gonna call them countries, but continents, realms, not realms. Kingdoms, that's the word. Kingdoms. So Salamander Coast and Tarkir below. Probably not Afera or Odero or anything like that. That might be a bit too far.
Nations. Different
nations.
Yeah.
That's the word. But yeah, definitely not a monopoly, but kind of they're the people you trade with if you're gonna do some trade. At least the main one, and so they trade the best supplies and everything of kind of luxury items and daily needs as well, so food, clothing, alcohol, all those items. And her mother's name, I'll come up with one right now. Did we come up with one, Joe?
I don't think so.
Jasmine. We're gonna name her Jasmine Tatiana. That's her mom, married to her dad. You know about her dad. So and she had, I'm assuming definitely that she's heard of Greenlee Services at least. So they seem to be good partners, and they do trade because you kind of have to be with the Tatiana trade family. So
What's your dad's name?
Jamie. That one I knew.
Jamie and
Tatiana.
Jasmine. Yep.
Aw.
JJ, baby. I didn't even think about it.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Okay. Yuri
And
will
you know
try.
Lila enough so you can pretend to be Lila.
If we have to do that, it'd be funny.
It would be really funny. I kind of want you to do it, but only do what Yuri would actually do.
Yuri's a good actor.
She is.
Oh,
What?
nothing. Sorry. Don't mind me.
Stuffed animals? Oh.
That's cute.
All right. So after about 15, 20 minutes, eventually after making whatever purchases you do in this small area, eventually the man does come back out and he says, yes, Miss Tatiana, may I speak to you for a moment? Yes, lady, Miss Greenleaf would be more than happy to acquiesce to a meeting, acquiesce your request to a meeting. And she'd be more than happy to do that today, even. She has
Wonderful.
free time. And hopefully you're not busy for the next hour. She's more than happy to... a meeting had dropped on her for, about 10 minutes ago. So she has a good 45-minute slot if you'd like to speak with her now.
Wonderful. Well, now is a great time for me. Can my friends join us?
She'd prefer if it was just you and one other. It's just large crowds are fairly overwhelming to her.
That's completely understandable. I don't blame her one bit, especially as busy of a woman as she is doing the great work that she does. So, she'll turn around and kind of eye everybody doing a who would like to come?
Violet, I'm sure this is something you'd be interested in. Nothing like
Yeah. Yes, I'll come help you with this. This seems like a very great opportunity. And she'll step up next to Lila.
Yes.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Great, even. Yes, well, to the rest of the three of you, please enjoy the rest of the market. Mrs. Greenleaf wanted me to give these to those who would not be coming along, and he pulls out a few pieces of paper and hands them to what would be Twig, Keothi, and Alfian. The vouchers for 10 silver pieces at any one of the stands on the grounds. So if there's anything you see that catches your eye for 10 silver, it can only be used at one stall, can't be split up between any of them, and there are certain stalls, it says on there, the pieces of paper which one it excludes from. And any merchant does have the right to deny said voucher, but if you find someone who accepts it at any one of the types of vendors that is accepted there, you're more than free to use that for redemption of at least 10 silver pieces.
That's very generous of her.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Well, for Tatiana and anything. Yes, well, should you choose it, you feel free to follow me, and we'll be on our way.
All right, let's go.
Fine. Very good. And it was obviously Lila, Tatiana, and what was your name again, dear?
Violet Fawn. I'm from the college as well. We're friends.
Violet Thorn from the college. Yes, very good. Yes, Miss Greenleaf will be more than happy to make your acquaintance. And he smiles to the other three and leads you two into the building.
Nalful just kind of give Yuri's hand a final squeeze as she kind of walks off. Just tried to give her a little bit of extra confidence as she goes into this.
Nice.
You're welcome. I tried. You can do it.
Okay. Alrighty, so with that, our group of adventurers are separated. And we have Keothi, Nalfian, and Twig staying outside. And Lila and Eurydice, heading inside. So, that. As the two of you head inside, there is an immediate difference between the sounds of the busy marketplace as the doors open and then close behind you. This place is quiet. It is painfully quiet. As you're making your way in and walking throughout the halls, you can see that every once in a while there's a table where a clerk is currently sitting, sort of running numbers, moving things on an abacus and writing down different notes in these tomes, these like ledgers, trying to keep track of everything that is happening in all of these different places. So, You make your way in, and you continue to follow this elderly man, human, thin, live, part in the hair part in the middle. As you can see here, down that way, if you happen to, during your meeting, need to use the restroom, the bathrooms you can find down that way. There will be some complimentary food and drink in the meeting room should you be hungry. Hopefully you didn't skip out on breakfast. Breakfast is, after all, the most important meal of the day. At least that's what I like to tell my grandchildren.
No, you're absolutely right, and we did, but that's so hospitable to provide food anyway. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. As I said, Mrs. Greenleaf is never one to skip out on guests, especially a Tatiana.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Head down that direction, I guess. Kind of leading, doing that part for Yuri.
Yeah, Yuri's grinding her teeth at certain bits. She's like,
You head up 2 flights of stairs and eventually down a long corridor that leads to 2 very finely crafted double doors. He knocks on the one. Lady Greenleaf, Tatiana and one of her entourage have arrived. A Miss Violet Thorn. And you can hear a woman's voice respond.
They may enter.
You enjoy your meeting, and whenever you're ready, just wait outside the door, and I'll be back to lead you back outside. All right?
Thank you so much.
Of course. Enjoy, and best of luck. And he'll open the door, and you can see, currently standing, looking out of a set of like French bay windows, looking down at the market square. A very fine desk, bookshelves lining up and down the walls, a couple of very finely crafted chairs sitting in front of the desk. You can see a woman with short cropped red hair that has these sort of loose curls to it. Pointed ears, and what you can see that as she sort of turns her profile to look at you, these harsh burns and scars all along the would be her left side of her face. And she looks to all of you and says,
Well, hello. Welcome in, please. Take a seat. It's an honor to meet you. Lila Tatiana, right?
Yes. What was her name again, Joe? I just don't remember.
Iara, right? That's how you pronounce it, River?
yeah.
Okay.
Iara. Iara.
Iara,
Yes.
okay. So, and this is Iara. You can see her wearing very fine clothes of green and gold right here.
And you are Yara, correct?
Yes. For the duration of the meeting, I would prefer Mrs. Greenleaf, however. Still formality between the two of us, but you're young, I can forgive you for that.
Oh, my apologies. I'm so sorry. And she'll take a seat. I just know my mother has only said good things about you, so I guess I got ahead of myself there.
Mrs. Tatiana is very admirable. I'm glad to hear that I'm kept in the positive in her conversations.
Yes, and she did speak highly of the growth that she has witnessed of Greenlee Goods and Services. And just, we kind of see a lot of businesses rise and fall depending, and being able to work so closely and see your rise, she definitely admires your efforts and everything you've done to grow.
Yes. Thank you. That's very kind of her to say.
So, well, I appreciate flattery. She sits down at the chair behind the desk and leans back a little bit.
I'm more than happy to sit here and be flattered for the rest of our time, but I'm assuming this isn't for nothing, Miss Tatiana and Miss Thorn, was it?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Well, since I was just around, and I definitely take pride in my family's just name, both at Hearthcrest and in the trade business. I did want to just do a little bit of connecting work for my mother. Not that I necessarily normally do, but I do know right now she had ventured pretty far up into the Salamander Coast, into Bella Clara, and she's doing some trade up there right now. But since I was around, and I know not often do we make those trips so far, if there was anything you were interested in that area in particular, and what maybe we could get in return for those items.
Joe, as she's having this conversation, Yuri wants to kind of mostly just look around the room, trying to not seem weird, and at Yara, and just like do an investigation to see if there's anything specific that looks like it could be connected to Dark One or Asmodeus, or stuff about Ayara. Like, does she seem the same? How different does she seem from last time in terms of body language and how she speaks and stuff like that?
Okay.
There's two things.
Yeah, that is two things. I'll have you make an
Yeah.
insight check for how different she is or how different she may be,
Okay.
and an investigation check, perception actually, because you're sitting in one spot just looking around the room. You can't like get up and pull books back or anything.
Alright. I'm gonna use well, technically days, blessing, whatever, to add a d10. Just that wasn't all, but I still want to make it better.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That is a 21 on insight.
Okay.
And then it is it's a 8 on perception.
All right. So 8 on perception. In this room, it just seems rather someone who hasn't always had money, who's recently come into wealth, what they would spend that money on. Things are a little bit more gaudy, and there's not really like any investments in physical properties like art or anything like that that could be resold at a higher value as time passes. There's like nothing like that, you know? And I'm sending you a message right now.
Ooh, special. I'm just sitting here bullshitting with her.
Thanks. Yeah, Yuri tried to say something in that moment, was like trying to get words out pretty. Okay. The last bit, more so than Lila, or less, or just less so, or just the same? Huh.
Oh. That's an appropriate response.
Alright. She's gonna quickly kind of looking around, she's gonna say, she's gonna let Lila bullshit for like maybe a couple more minutes about this trade stuff. And then eventually she's going to just say, I pointed out the bathrooms were just down the hall that way. I've got a really good memory. I'll be back in a second. Thank you so much for your time. She's gonna get up, walk out the door. Is there anyone in the hallway?
Anyone in the hallway right now? No.
She's gonna cast Detect Magic.
And detect magic. What is the? Let's see. Let me read it here real quick. How far can it go through? 3 feet of wood or dirt. All right, that'll do it. Okay. As you look back into the hallway, there's nothing. But as you look through the door, looking through, there's brief strings of magic coming off of Lila, obviously due to her magical weapons and armor. And you see 2 other things in the room. There is a small dagger of a sort that you can see outlined on one of the bookshelves that is giving off this very, very, very strong glow. of magic. You can see that it is that of evocation and that of abjuration, sort of swirling together in this one dagger. Then on top of that, the entirety of the form of Yara is glowing in illusory magic.
Okay, she's gonna, as she stood out in the hallway, she's gonna whisper, but she's gonna, because she knows where Lila is, she's gonna use message.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna say, there's a dagger on the bookshelf that's glowing, and the whole of Iara is glowing illusion. And then she'll wait what's an appropriate amount of time for the distance to where the room was and whatever that was pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
And then step back in and sit down.
I imagine that Lila maybe used that time that Yuri started sending the message to sit there and go, and I believe and she like sits there and like thinks about something for a little bit, and then once the message is done, she's going to go back and do the, yes. So the last thing my mother told me was that she was in Belka, and they have a great trade with Bromsgrove as well, because she's not going all the way up there. I can let her know about anything that you're interested in that regard and see if they brought a delivery in.
Sadly, I'm not looking to expand that far north. I have business partners that I work with up there. They seem to have everything covered for the most part.
Well, wonderful. But if you ever do change your mind, I'll be in town maybe, I don't know, maybe only for another day. So definitely sleep on it. Could be heading out tonight or tomorrow, though. So you can always reach us at Hearthcrest, though. Put in a good word with you, obviously, as my mother already enjoys our connection. So.
Well, that is very kind. Like I said, the compliments that you deal me are too kind. It's very nice. Bye. I'll think about your offers, dear. But I am curious. You came here just to propose potential trade agreements in Bromsgrove. This is something that could have been done with a letter. Why are you really here? I know what dealings Jasmine deals in.
Well, like I said, I personally like to take pride in the name Tatiana, and while letters are very convenient, I definitely think being more personable with the people we work with is ideal, and since I was already in town, and I knew of you and our connection, just figured might as well keep that relationship good. But if it's been a bother for you, I'm also happy to relay that.
At about that point, you were to see that's the moment that you would return back into the room.
Okay.
That point in the conversation is when you would walk back. Ah. Violet, you've returned to us. Oh, Miss Thorne.
Yes, thank you. She sits down. Going well? She looks at Lila.
Excellent, but I think the work here is done. Definitely keep that.
Had one question whilst we were here. So we're obviously both from the college. I heard your name is Greenleaf. We had a friend that we met once or twice who came down and checked out a few books. A wood elf named Eurydice. Are you two related?
She just looks at you and blinks. stands up.
Like,
And you can see her kind of flick her hand a little bit, and you can hear the door lock to the room. Why are you asking about her? And she turns back around to you, Eurydice. Why are you asking? Don't you know?
if I was asking, well, if I knew, why would I be asking? It was just a question.
I have been very successful as a business entity. Growth has been unparalleled in the past 2 years after the death of my niece. Her burnt corpse found in the rubble. I was grief-stricken, of course I was. I cared so much about her, and after the way that her parents perished, oh my goodness. Some days I didn't want to wake up in the morning. But I realized that I needed to push forward for her. I needed to be better for her. I've received many gifts for my pragmatism. She blinks, you can see her eyes change colors. Sight unparalleled to anything else I've ever had. She stands up and moves over towards the bookshelf to where that dagger is. Sight to cut through darkness, and sight to cut through lie. As she picks up that dagger off the bookshelf and looks down to the two of you. So, Eurydice, what do you have to say now?
Whose corpses were in the house?
Well, Ayara's, of course. You made sure of that, didn't you? Sadly, one of our other agents failed what he was supposed to do. Day is one trickster, isn't he? He tried to convince Ayara that you needed to stay. He could help you get better. Of course, coming in his Uncle Greenleaf form. But sadly, Yara wouldn't hear him out. Yara wanted to get rid of you. So, Yara made a few deals. She stared into the shadow. She asked it questions. And it answered. It promised to remove that stain of a niece she had. But sadly, when the Bansheen arrived to take you, Day made sure that didn't happen. But look at this. How many years later, you played right into his hand. She unsheaths the dagger. So, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah. Lila. Just take my hand. And she's just gonna grab Lila and Dimension Door.
Oh, shit!
Oh, dear.
Okay. Yeah, so as you go to Dimension Door, there is going to be this flare from the dagger as this energy shoots out, and I'd like you to make a charisma check for me, and she's going to do the same to see who casts their spell faster. Okay,
Who is she?
That is a 16 from her.
Charisma. Ah, fuck, yeah, that's a 21.
21, okay, all right. 6. So as you grab Lila's hand, you can see this beam of like bright purple energy shoot out towards you, go to collide in with your side. And as you do, there is this flash of red energy around you and Lila as you two vanish. Where are you reappearing?
Like at the entrance to the marketplace.
Okay.
And I'm instantly like, the moment we're there, if I can see Nalfian, I'm shooting a message. I'm like, we need to go right now.
Okay.
Do I get the message?
Yeah, you get the message. But the thing is, as you reappear right at the entry of the market, that was right where those children of the flame were standing. As I said that they were posted at the entrance and exit, as you reappear right there, just in a gut instinct of where am I going, I need to get out of here, you reappear, two children of the flame immediately draw their swords. Halt! What are you doing?
What? You're not allowed to do magic? What the fuck? Oh, you
Not grab Yuri.
To Dimension Door right in front of them? I think that would freak anybody out.
Okay,
I grab Lila and I run.
Okay, all right,
Like,
Nalfi, Twig, and Keothi, you see the Dimension Door flash red as you see them begin to run out.
Nalfian is... Okay, they're running?
Is that what you
We're
said?
running. Yeah, we're gonna keep running since we see the Children of the Flame. You guys don't have to follow us anymore.
Or maybe don't.
Maybe don't follow us.
Go next.
Okay.
Go for next.
Nalfian is going to... fuck. Okay, he's just going to shout, "Hey, thief!" and point the alternate direction of which they're fucking running, and he's just gonna, like, throw a fucking rock at the back of someone's head. Just to cause a commotion to see if the Children of the Flame at least hesitate.
Yeah, make a deception check for me. As
Okay.
you like, throw the rock, and you can see...
Would you believe me if I rolled a fucking natural 20 on that bullshit lie that he just told?
Okay, I'll say that as you hit somebody,
I wasn't trying to
This
hit
isn't-
someone to, like, accuse them. I was just trying to make a ruckus.
Okay, well, this is where Nalfian's uncanny luck plays into it. As you hit somebody in the back of the head with a rock, you can see they were already getting ready to take off and run as you did hit somebody who was literally trying to pickpocket somebody and run. As you do,
Okay.
you see him stop. He's like, "How the fuck did you see me?" And you can see the Children of the Flame, and the two of them look to each other and nod. One starts running after Lila and Eurydice, and the other one runs after the thief. As the one running after the thief nods to you with a thank you and heads off that way, Lila, Eurydice, where are the two of you going? You know that whoever is pretending to be Iara Greenleaf knows who you are, Eurydice, and knows that, and you know that they are in communication with the Dark One and a servant of them. So, where are you going? What are you doing?
Lila, while running, is gonna ask Eurydice, "Do you know how to Misty Step?"
No.
Fuck. If she casts Misty Step at a higher level, could she take Joe? Would she be able to take Yuri with her?
Can fly. I will just
She
say I
can
can
fly.
fly.
Because what I was thinking is, because there's going to be Children of the Flame at the entrance of this place. If we try to run through one of the walls, or you fly over it, once we get into the forest, Lila can cast... Actually, I don't know if I have Silence fucking prepared, but I was gonna say we could cast Silence. Let me see what I have.
We can't go back to the tavern.
No.
Because they know who we are. What about... Fuck. It needs to be somewhere Yuri knows. I can Dimension Door us somewhere.
To the Goliaths, or toward the huntsman.
If I can just get us out the walls, is that going to be best?
I think so at this point, because then we can lose them in the forest, and then I can cast Sending to Nalfian and Twig, and we can meet up later.
Okay, I grab Lila's arm. I Dimension Door us into like the kind of... Is there forest but past the north?
Is the forest what?
Is there forest past the north wall?
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of it is farmlands, but there are a collection of trees and nature that you can sort of hide in. And also, because this is right at sort of the middle part of spring, some of the crops have begun to rise as well, so you can also hide within those. But you'd need to get like right close, like probably right here. So you need to do a little bit of running as this one Children of the Flame is chasing after you.
That's
the plan.
Yeah, that's our plan.
All right. So you see them running, and you can hear them shouting behind you, "Stop! Stop right there! Stop in the name of the light!" And you can see that...
I do have command or suggestion that I could use. I'm going to command him to stop.
Okay, yeah. As you are running, you can see that as he has his one sword in his hand, he is beginning to conjure this beam of white light in his hand that he's getting ready to throw at the two of you. So I would say, Lila, as you turn around, you cast command. So what is that, a wisdom saving throw, charisma saving throw?
Wisdom.
Wisdom, all right.
DC 16.
7 plus 6, so yeah, that's a 13, so that's a failure.
So he'll just stop in his tracks and probably, so...
And you can the spell that he was about to cast fizzles as he just stops there. And that's concentration for how long does that maintain?
One action. Doesn't say concentration.
It's just an action and then it stops.
Oh, it's 1 round, so it's 6 seconds. Where
Okay. Well,
okay, yeah. So
that still helps.
Something.
I could do suggestion too.
I think we just run. Maybe
it's okay.
we must
Yeah,
keep
so that
running,
would give you an extra 60 feet to get away from him, which is more than enough. So, because both of you have 30, I mean, you're to see you have 35, so you're good. You just keep sprinting and running until eventually you get right outside the wall. You know how thick the wall is, so you're to see with that. Only the one Children of the Flame was coming after you in this moment, so you can easily cast Dimension Door again and teleport outside of the city walls. So with that,
the moment we're there, Yuri's just panicking. She's, oh my.
Lila, while we're still running into the forest, I assume she's gonna be like, "Who were they? What happened? I was just having a bullshit conversation. What had happened?
A fucking burn sheen was in my house.
They're everywhere. We should just throw the town away. Is anyone a person?
Is anyone a person? Oh, you're ready to see as you are get outside the city limits, you receive a message through Sending that says, "If you really thought the architect was the only one running things in Iverion and Tarkir, then you really, really are too dense for this line of work you've chosen." Which, let me clarify, doesn't necessarily mean that they're a member of the 13, right? We're starting to run out of members of the 13. Not everybody can be a member of the 13. I want to clarify that. So with that, do you want to respond at all?
Yes. This isn't so. I don't know who you are, but we're gonna stop you. This isn't gonna work. Fuck you.
I like it.
Hell yeah.
Fuck you.
That is that's the best use of sending.
Fuck you.
That's I wish that was just all you're sending. Fuck you. Okay.
Yuri panic. So she's
All
That's
right.
fair. Don't think I could be as eloquent in a stressful situation.
Especially after you just got done running for like
I know,
5
out
minutes.
of breath.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. So the two of you get outside the city limits. Nalthian and Twig, you can see as the two of you are just sort of sitting there, like waiting, the commotion happening, people running around. The two of you can see.
Alf took Twig by the hand and gave Kyo a little look, and then immediately they're leaving this area.
Oh, they're leaving too? Okay.
Yeah. They're not trying to be
Wait,
sus
see the
about
thing.
it. They're just,
Yeah, Twig would refuse to run. Like, I
Yeah,
think it
we're
is
not
just more
running.
quick pace.
Yeah.
yeah. We're not trying to look like we've done something wrong. We're just leaving the area.
Yeah.
We have business. We have a lunch date.
Yeah, of course. Two things. As seeing that happen, those two run away out of the Children of the Flame, and then you all sort of cautiously walk that way. Keothi kind of like has this like deja vu moment where she's like, I swear I've been in this like exact same position before where we were running away from the law. I'm just glad we're not all running this time, because that would suck. Last time that happened, everything got so weird. We went to the past, future. It's odd. Okay. So
Alpha's gonna look at her like, okay.
yeah. That's thing one that's not important. Thing two that is important. Kyo's important, but you know.
Yeah.
So you can see as you're walking out, you can see that giant, like not giant, that very large, like French bay window that looks out over the entirety of the inner markets, and you can see a feminine form standing in that window, looking down and looking out over the chaos of what's happening as people are sort of ducking and dodging and diving. The organized chaos that was this place just a few moments ago is completely dissolved. As you can see that woman just looking up there, staring out and down at what is in front of her. Nalfi, Twig, Kyo, three of you make your way out. Seems as though you haven't drawn any suspicion to yourself. And you leave Greenlee Goods and Services.
Lila then, after Yuri does the whole sending thing and they're in the safe spot, Lila will send to Nalthian saying, let's just meet up at the Huntsman's Lodge at the appropriate time.
Yeah. Once Nalf hears that, he does not think it's probably best to just kind of vibe in the city, so he's just going to start heading that way now.
That's fair.
Yeah. Especially because Lila
Well,
is
also
very
just as
easily
we're going,
identifiable.
Like, try and get a lay of the land of like what the Children of the Flame are doing, just to like see if they're like mobilizing, if they're going in a certain direction, like if they've tracked obviously which direction Lila and Yuri are headed in, or if it is just like a general search, like just try and get a best.
Yeah. For
best
sure.
what they can.
So we're not walking into it.
Yeah, and I would say it's fairly easy. As you're exiting Greenlee Goods and Services right here, you can see that there are maybe 40 to 50 Children of the Flame that are exiting, followed by Draven Hunt towards the forest over here, because that was the last known location they were seen at.
We are going to go not that way.
Yeah,
We're
well,
gonna go
luckily
this
there's only one way out of the city, so you are able to go that way, because they weren't seen moving towards the gate. So the Children of the Flame presence toward the gate is fairly low. As you make your way down the street, cross the bridge, and it is still midday. It's only 1 or 2 o'clock, so leaving the city is totally permitted. These Children of the Flame over here don't have any reason to suspect anyone would be near the gate. They look down at you, see that you're not acting suspicious at all, and they allow you to leave the city. Would you gather your horses before?
Oh, yes, we'll grab.
Okay.
Yeah, and probably actually
March.
tell, because Blossom and Alistair are just in the tavern, and it's like, like it's probably a good idea to maybe at least clue them into something is happening.
Pop in there. Oh, well, they didn't stay in there.
Oh shit, okay.
Keothi's met them, so she'll send a message and just explain, something bad happened at the market. We're all okay. I think we haven't met up with Lila and Yuri yet, but we're going to the Huntsman. If we find anything out, we'll let you know. Keo would have done it better. Okay. So with that, the two of you make your way back to them. Now you cover them up.
Sorry.
There we go. Oh, Twig doesn't. All right, never mind, that's fine. Okay, alrighty. So with that, the group of you reconvene north of the city as you have seemingly escaped the gaze of the Children of the Flame for the most part, as far as you know.
I will say also just Twig, once they've all met up, would have passed about a trace to them. Just because I'm pretty sure it does like cover up all their tracks and all that shit. Yeah, it can't be tracked except by magical means. So I feel like that would also help just in case they like start, getting the idea that we've left the city. To hopefully cover things a bit more.
Okay, sounds good. All right.
Once we're like gone a little bit, Yuri's having a panic attack. Like there's no nearly at this.
It's like you get 15, like you get like a good 10 minutes away, and you're like, okay, all right, now I have time to panic.
Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry. So have we met up with them or no?
Yeah, at this point, you would have reconvened with them, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as you know, generally where they ran into the woods, so you can assume that they started heading north towards the Huntsman. So, and that's what Lila said anyway in the message.
Right. Yeah.
So with that, you do reconvene. As luckily you didn't run into any issues at the gate because of the way that they chose to exit the city. If they would have decided to run towards the gate, it'd probably be a different story.
Nah, man,
Right.
going through walls.
Yeah, obviously. Okay. Oh god. Okay. This is bad. This is really bad.
Well, okay, so it's it is bad, but it's also kind of not bad. Because so if
What
everybody's a fucking dark friend, they already knew. They already knew, but now we know. And now we know better how to handle things.
Well, now
Like-
she knows who I. She knows
Okay,
I'm here.
all right. Hey, slow down. Twig, what did you just say?
I just wanted to ask what happened.
Me too. What happened?
Okay, we got in, and the whole thing. It was Iverion. She had like burns across one side of her face, and then we were like talking about trade deals. I stepped out. I used detect magic. She was all covered in illusory magic. Stepped back in. I asked about myself. I said, I know you had a niece, Eurydice, and she locked the door, and apparently, she's not Ayara. She is someone else. Ayara did die in the fire, and so did a Bansheen. Because apparently, my aunt made a deal to get rid of me, and they sent a Bansheen to kill me and day protect. And then
Well,
she tried to
fuck.
kill us, and I dimension doored.
Uh-huh.
But this,
Wait,
apparently
so
they
then
were
is she
looking
working
for
with
me.
the Children of the Flame? Why were they
I don't
after
know.
you?
No,
Because
because of where we popped up, they assumed any sort of sudden magic was suspicious, and of course we just kept panicking, so we ran.
yeah. She didn't say anything to them. We just kind of panicked and then ran. But she knows who I am. She knows I'm here. And she said, she messaged me. She said we were stupid if we thought the architect was the only one running things.
Okay. So she's a dark friend, clearly.
Yeah, and apparently so was my actual aunt, who is very dead.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and if you need to slap me, you can, but it's kind of a good thing, right? That she's dead.
I'm not going to slap you. Wait, no, I am. And she's going to slap him.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I'm sorry. But she was a dark friend, and she wanted to get rid of you. And that's not okay.
She called Bansheen to take me.
Right, that's clearly fucked. And Nalphius, still feeling the slight tingle of his face being slapped, is just gonna like take Eurydice and just kind of give her a hug.
But
You gotta
they-
relax.
He said that he went and tried to convince her that I could be, cured? Is that's what she said, right? He'd fix it, he'd do something. I don't know what she meant.
like, Joe, what was the reason? The aunt just wanted to get rid of her because she said Eurydice was like worthless to her, right? It wasn't really founded on anything in particular.
Yeah, worthless. She was dangerous.
And Day was basically like, no, I can, guide her, kind of, right?
Like, yeah, and what you heard is that he showed up in Uncle Greenleaf form. So like as a human. So pretty much being like, the vibe was like, I'm just a teacher. Like I'm just some wizard who can teach her how to control her powers. Not like I'm Osmodeus, tyrant king of the nine hells.
Okay. So yeah, Lila will explain that to everybody.
Yeah.
Because she knew I was dangerous too.
What a terrible woman.
Yes.
Delphian's like looking at Lila like, yeah, I mean, see, that's why I said what I said.
I didn't slap you.
Thank you.
I was hardly slapping you.
I mean, I didn't even feel it, but it's fine. Okay. You can slap me again.
No. I'm just...
Wait,
I was
I'm
dangerous.
confused. Why are you slapping him?
Because he said it's good that she's dead, and I feel bad that I killed her, even if she's a dark friend.
Okay.
Okay, I burned someone alive without even knowing she was a dark friend. I didn't know.
That's okay. You're right. You're totally valid in your feelings and emotions.
Okay, Eurydice. It is okay.
It's not okay. Nothing about this is okay. What about this is okay?
You got some answers. You now know that woman is not your aunt. You know what happened. It's better than what we were 25 minutes ago, when we knew nothing.
We know who our enemies are. For real now. And we can,
was right.
plan accordingly.
Okay. Right. This is just great.
It's probably safer that we're not in the city anyway.
I know.
We won't be able to go back there now, will we?
I don't know.
I mean,
I mean,
technically...
if she knows that something's wrong and the Children of the Flame are also dark friends, then
I don't know
surely
if all
they'll
of them are.
know in extension, right?
I don't know, but she saw through my disguise, so I can't even just pretend to be someone else. And I feel like she knows who I am. She knows I'm back. I don't know how she's gonna tell about that.
Do we even know if it's in her best interest to tell? Like, we really don't know that much about this person. Like, we're assuming a lot that this person works with the Children of the Flame and that we know anything else. Like, what is their goal? Are they in charge of the nightmares? Or are they just another piece to this giant fucked up puzzle that we're in?
Again, Lila's right. It might not even benefit her to tell anyone who you are.
Because if it did, wouldn't she have blasted that you're alive already? I mean, she seems to know everything. I mean, maybe she didn't know you were in the town, but she knew you were alive. She knows about Day. Probably could have assumed you were going to be coming back anyway.
Maybe that's part of why there's so much conflict between the Dark One and Asmodeus. I mean, they were trying to kill me, they stopped it, and then hid me.
And Day wanted you to destroy this whole town.
Mm-hmm.
So that means he must have knew how much of the structure had been changed to be only dark friends.
I don't want him to be right.
Obviously, there are good people there. The innkeeper woman, Isolde. She was misguided, but she was still trying to do her best to help people. So, believe me, he's not right. There are always going to be good people.
And I
Always.
definitely think it's safe to say everyone who's in the temple right now is doing their best to make this place a better place too.
Mm-hmm.
Dark friends.
I think we need to see this huntsman. We need to see if he knows something. And try piece more of this together. Why these dreams are happening. Because it's still not fully explained.
I bet he knows a lot more than we know.
Mm-hmm. It was... I'm still trying to figure out a couple things. Like, if it was just because the Bansheen showed up, that's why Day had me burn the things then and then leave. Was there a reason to burn the temple? Was it just to show my loyalty, or was there a reason? There was some conversation I had with Day about it, and he started saying something about the priest that died in that fire, and I cut him off. So I was angry. I was telling him to leave me alone, but I just wonder what he was going to say.
Maybe the priest was a dark friend too.
Well,
I mean, that
Asmodeus.
temple also had all the statuettes. Maybe it was, you know, used to worship the Dark One. Even when it was, well, not burnt down.
Asmodeus also has more enemies than just the Dark One. He's still Asmodeus. And Peor's not his friend.
No, but I don't know why, if there were dark friends in my aunt's house, why isn't that ground infected and the other two are?
I don't know.
I know it's early, but I don't think we have much of a choice. I think we should just go to the huntsman now and see if he'd be willing to meet with us.
It might also take us a while to even find it. I mean, if the Children of the Flame haven't found it yet, he might need longer than an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Let's go.
Alrighty. So with that, all of you begin to head into the forested area outside of Wheatley. Traversing your way in an attempt to find the huntsman. So, as you're making your way through, who's leading the charge into this area?
I feel like probably Twig, and she would also just, if there's any animals around, like, fuck it, may as well ask them, because, you know, if like the huntsman and I guess his posse have been just, you know, here in this forest and moving around and shit, like, if anyone's gonna see it, it's the animals that live here, right?
That's a sound assumption. Okay. So yeah, as you are looking around, there are quite a few that you can find. It seems as though this place has no shortage of forest critters to speak to. Are you more interested in speaking to something that travels by flight or something that travels by land? What are you thinking?
Probably land, just in case they've like come across whatever building or whatever. And I was just thinking, have we been given a visual description of the huntsman at any point?
No.
So I don't think we have, right? No.
The only thing we had was that one guy that like bumped into us that was a wood elf, and that was about it.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the best to go on though, because we still don't exactly know who exactly he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. So yeah, Twig will just look for any kind of land beastie.
Okay, yeah, easy enough. You begin to look around, and eventually you do find what seems to be a oh, you know what? As you're making your way throughout the different trees, trying to find anything that you can to speak to, while there are a few smaller critters like mice that you do end up passing, you can see there is one creature that is sort of lingering outside of your vision, where you can still see them, but anytime you get closer, they kind of move away a little bit, and you can see what looks to be a fox of some kind. It's bright red fur, sort of this stark contrast against the dark greens and blues of the forest behind you.
Yeah, seeing it's just ready to run away from her, she will just cast Speak with Animals as she's, I guess, kind of in the pursuit of it, and just ask, could you please stop a minute? I just want to ask you something.
Oh, I didn't realize you could talk to me.
Well, hi there,
Hi.
we were just... You haven't seen, I guess, people going through these forests? Maybe living here?
Well, there are a lot of people that pass through here. A lot of people.
Any kind of, I don't know, house, building? People that are often here?
Yeah, but they don't want me to show people where their things are. They've talked to me before about it.
Is this the huntsman? Do you know them?
Well, I've never talked to them specifically, but at least as far as I know, yeah.
Well, we were asked to find and talk with him. So I know that he obviously doesn't want you to, well, reveal where he is, but we've been asked to, and so if you could help, even pointing us in a direction. We still have that little, like, note or letter or whatever. I don't know. Serves proof. Then again, I can't read. Never mind.
Oh. Say, like, now hold up the paper. Like,
Can Yuri see Twig, like, looking like it's not going brilliantly with the...
Hey man, we don't know that yet.
Just for now.
You can tell that the fox definitely does look a little nervous. But the fox also looked nervous when Twig started talking.
Yuri will, just to see if this will help a bit, take Lucky and have him become the fox form that he was back when we were picking flowers and stuff. And she will kind of whisper to him to make friends.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll try.
You got this.
I don't speak fox though.
Okay, well, maybe Twig will help you translate. You just need to be very friendly.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll
you
go
got
do
this,
that.
buddy.
Okay.
And he kind
Good
of
job.
jumps down and shifts into fox form. And you can see the fox kind of like look over at the new fox that was here, kind of cock its head, and says to you, Twig,
Who's that? I didn't see them with you before.
Well, he's a friend of, you're ready to see, kind of like pointing back. He's not really a fox, I know, and I guess you could probably know that. It's not meant to be a trick or anything. But are you able to point us in the right direction, though? I mean, if anything, I guess if you can speak with, well, whoever you've been speaking to, you could even ask them if it's okay. I mean, we're not really meant to talk to him until the evening, so I guess we could wait out here. That way you know it's okay and we know it's okay, right?
I mean...
Yeah, it's really okay. I've not a real fox, but, you know, I've spent a lot of time with them, and And I really like them. I think they're really nice people. They're trying to help a whole bunch.
And you can see the fox just sort of like cock its head at Lucky. As Twig, you hear it speaking common, and the fox is just trying to tell you, I don't know what he's saying. I don't understand what he's saying. What is he saying?
Sorry, he's just trying to be nice. Lucky, he can't understand you.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was just trying to say that I like you guys a lot.
And just says the same thing over again that he had already said out loud.
Oh, buddy.
He's just a vouch for our character. I'm sorry,
Twig, go ahead and make an animal handling check.
Oh, yeah. That is a 22.
22. Okay. So with a 22, you can see the fox kind of.
Okay, you follow me for a little bit, and then I'll go ask for you, okay? But you gotta promise not to follow me all the way, because I just don't want to get in trouble if I lead you somewhere where you're not supposed to be.
Oh, we promise.
Okay. All right, fine. Then you can follow me then.
She'll start to head over and kind of like fill the others in that, yeah, we're gonna be led here, but we cannot go the whole way. Just to like, make sure this little fox is certain. But, will guide us and all that. Just fill in on like whole conversation. But yeah, we'll follow after him.
Yeah.
Great. Sorry, I took a bite. I thought you were going to take a little longer to explain that.
Wow, well, sorry. Just for brevity's sake, everyone was here for the conversation. Come on.
All right. Gemma, with you, for brevity's sake, I don't know if that's possible. Okay, that's fine. So, with that, the group of you begin to follow the fox until eventually, after about 3 or 4 hours, go ahead and do that.
Ooh.
So it is now about, let's see, what would that be? About 5 p.m., 6 o'clock. The sun is just beginning to set, sort of beginning to crest over the mountains. The fox sort of turns around, and you can see it sort of stand up on its 2 legs and kind of give you 1 paw to stop. Since Speak with Animals is probably finished, and it'll continue the rest of the way. But it's asking you to stop right here.
Yeah, I mean, Twig, just as her druid self, can understand basics of anything animals are saying.
Okay. Well, then it stands back up on 2 legs and says, stop. And then goes.
Yeah. Yeah, so she'll just, like, give a little bit of a nod of, like, yeah, I understand, and just make sure everyone else is stopping too. And she'll just sit down on the ground just to, like, really show that, yes, we're not going anywhere.
All right. Amazing. So, with that, you stay where you are. And you are there for about another 2 hours until it's about 7 p.m. Sun is set behind the mountains, and a cool darkness has sort of covered the trees and small rivers and streams around you. In those 2 hours, do the group of you want to talk about anything, or are you just kind of sitting and waiting?
Nalf will just kind of try to be reassuring to Eurydice, just kind of continuing their conversation that they had. I mean, it's kind of hard to be super reassuring when you just, saw your dead aunt. That wasn't your dead aunt, and yeah.
And yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I'm sure a few times he'd be like, if you need to slap the other side of my face, if that'll make you feel better, it's open.
No, he's really apologetic.
Nah,
He's like,
yeah. He's basically using it as a joke to make her feel better.
Yuri will have very fluffy golden retriever Lucky again.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that she can like kind of hug him and stroke behind his. And she will kind of reiterate what she said, in that she was kind of hoping her aunt wouldn't be dead. After hearing all of this, I mean, she didn't actually kill her. But it kind of hurts knowing that her aunt thought she was dangerous and all she did was prove.
Yeah.
So.
We go after like 20 minutes of waiting. We'll also ask Kyo if she wants a quick round of Kingdom of the Castle.
Oh, Twig, listen, most of the time I would love to, but I just, not only do I don't want to ruin my cards with the water and the nature, and I love nature, I do, but they don't get along well with cards. Think about it, what if we're halfway through a game and then the fox shows back up? What are we gonna do then? I don't want to leave a game, and I don't like draws.
I mean, we could pack it up and resume later, right?
Yeah, but,
It's okay if you don't want to. It's fine.
well, no, I always want to. It's just, it just now doesn't seem like a good time. Things seem a little stressful. And I would
just like, it's fine.
I would feel, and she kind of leans in, I would feel really bad having such a fun time playing Kingdoms and Castles while Eurydice is, and looks to Eurydice like tearing out threads of her hair, is that way.
Y'all are pushing Eurydice to the edge. I'm not gonna lie. The fucking bear and the fucking cats.
Amen.
We'll play later, I promise.
It's been hours. She can get over it now.
Gemma!
I swear to fuck. I will. Eurydice will burn. I killed a banshee when I was 20, okay? With, like level 0 walk. Shut the
Damn.
fuck up.
Wow.
All right, cool. So with that, all of you wait for a little bit longer until eventually you can hear a snapping of twigs all around you. This twig dies,
Snapping of
apparently.
twigs,
Choice words.
I know, truly. You can hear the cracking of small sticks all around you. As eventually, coming out from the foliage in the trees, you can see what looks to be a collection of rangers of a kind, all wearing deep forest green cloaks, have masks sort of covering their face, quivers on their back, bows and arrows, short swords or rapiers just sort of tucked into their sides. You can definitely tell naturalist people. And you can see the one fox sort of come back out and sort of wave at you, Twig, as one of the rangers approaches. You can see shorter in stature, probably a halfling, as they are a little bit more wide. They sort of pull the mask down from their face. You can see they have a big sort of like thick caterpillar mustache that they kind of uncover as they tuck the mask down by their neck. And they speak and say, "So, all of you wish to speak with the huntsman, correct? You received this letter."
Correct. And Nalf will, like, show him the letter.
And he doesn't even need to read it. He just looks that you have it. Just raises his hand.
Very well. Follow me, and just respect our home as we would respect yours.
Nalf will nod.
And kind of looking around at the group. So I'm assuming everybody is... So none of the rest of you had disguises except for Eurydice, right?
Correct.
Eurydice, would you still be in violet form?
What do you guys think? I think she would have asked this. Do you guys think she should be or not?
I mean, at this point, you
I
know.
feel that- yeah, I don't think there's any point.
Yeah, because the way she, and especially with her having the freak out, I feel like she
Yeah.
probably would have, like, lost
Probably.
concentration on it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she'll have
Just
dropped
be
it.
like, she'd
It's
have
not-
to be like recasting it all the time, so it's like
It's
you know, probably
it's
give
just
yourself a break.
stays. But I feel like
Oh.
yeah, she just
Yeah, it's a
would
warlock
drop it.
invocation. Mask of many
I
faces.
thought it was just free like disguise self. So
No. She's just gonna drop it.
So as you can see, the halfling man kind of looks around the group counts the heads, and then sees you, Eurydice, and you can see his eyes widen a little bit, but then he kind of goes back to normal, hoping that no one noticed, but all of you did. And he'll nod and pull his mask back up, pull his hood back up, and begin making his way back through the trees.
Mhm.
As you begin to make your way towards what you know to be the Huntsman's Lodge. Now, the rangers here are moving a lot slower than what you can tell they normally do. Twig, you have a little bit of an easier time keeping up with them, but it is still, for the rest of you, it is still pretty difficult because they are definitely good at what they do. As you are dipping and dodging through trees, you are climbing up these very steep ledges that sort of lead up these rocky crags. As you can tell, you're getting closer and closer to the more mountainous regions of the Riverlands, until eventually you can see the trees and foliage of the forest begins to get thicker and thicker and thicker, until eventually you can feel the air just change just a hair. There's this small shift to the air. It becomes a little bit cleaner, more potent even, a stronger scent of pine, perhaps. As you all begin to make your way into this area. And eventually what you see before you is the land around you begins to sort of fall away just a little bit as these larger streams and rivers begin to cut through the ground. This sort of ever cascading waterfall and waterways. You can see this collection of small abodes and houses sort of clinging to the trees in different areas, vines and small pathways connecting them. You can see multicolored birds and creatures sort of swooping around, flying around the different areas. And all the way about as back as your vision will go, you can see this large, still lake. And in this large lake, you can see floating above it, there is this like 3-dimensional portal of a sort, but it looks like a crystal almost, that's just kind of floating there and spinning very, very, very slowly on top of completely still water. You can see that there, the situation. The man, the halfling man, does continue to lead you to what would be the Huntsman's Lodge, this larger building that's sort of sitting nestled in this center tree. As you make your way up a set of stairs that seems to be like made from wood, like not carved from wood, but like literally wood shifted and moved, as if the wood was just moved, like shifted around like Play-Doh or something, so it could be easily shifted and manipulated to form stairs. As you go up and around and into a lodge, where you can see there's a large fire burning in the center. You can see a large table at the other end of the fire from the doors that you enter, and you can see a collection of individuals wearing different sort of smatterings of very finely crafted armor, and people ready for fighting or war, whatever it may be, talking over a table. And they vary in race and in build, but there is definitely a larger number of elves. And Lila, you even are able to recognize a couple of Eladrin in this area.
Oh.
Yeah, where they are in this sort of springtime energy with a lot of whites and greens happening. And then you see a man in the center speaking to all of them. Pointed ears, these sort of golden eyes, a tattoo on his forehead that looks like branches expanding out, and long sort of auburn red hair. As he stares down at the table, Looking about, he sees the door open, and all of you walk in. And you assume the man sitting at the center, or standing at the center of the table, is most likely a huntsman. Share that with you there.
Well, now fools say hi. Yeah. He'll just say, sorry if we're interrupting anything, but you passed us a message, and as of right now, I don't think it's the safest place for us to be is in the city, so, here we are.
Yes. I understand that. The city is not the safest place for anyone to be. Which is why I wanted you to come here.
And you can see him kind of looking out into the group of you. He's so far away now, it's hard to tell if he's focusing on anyone in particular, but he is just sort of looking out to the group of you and says,
I had heard about what happened in Highland Pass. A group of people they had saved that city. A drow man, Nalfian, a young girl, Twig. There was a hobgoblin, Grok, I believe. And then there was another name. Eurydice. And
I'm new. She'll raise her hand off to the side.
That was cute.
Yuri like steps out a little bit from one side because she might have just been kind of like covered a bit by now. And she will just kind of wave. Hi.
do my eyes deceive me?
and you see him kind of step out from behind the table.
I had thought gone. But you're not. You're here, look at you. You look just like her.
And immediately he's going to move towards you, Eurydice, and he's going to hug you.
Do I recognize him?
Kind of. There is like this block almost. A very similar feeling that you have whenever you try to remember your mother's face. It's sort of the only clear memory that you have. And as he's moving towards you, you're maybe a little uncomfortable because you don't really recognize him at all. But as soon as that connection is made, and there is this bond, this unconditional love that you can feel just flood into you, like a floodgate. You feel something snap inside your head. So many memories that had been lost to you. You had forgotten, filled with anger and spite and hatred for your aunt. Memories that had been corrupted and turned against you. But thanks to your friends and thanks to this connection now right next to you, you have memories. When you were oh so young, barely old enough to walk, going out into the forest with a man who looked exactly like this. With a small bow and arrow, trying your best to shoot just like him. And although you would fail, he would pick you back up and show you how to do it. You have memories of cooking with your mother, trying your best to. All of these memories, happy memories, flooding back into your head. Memories that were lost. As eventually he pulls away as you look at him. There is no doubt in your mind. Rodan, your father. He smiles.
She is like kind of putting it together, and then like I think probably tears are gonna start falling.
Do
Oh
not
my God.
cry. Do not cry.
I thought you were gone. How are you here?
It was something that I planned to share with you when you got older. And I feel so silly for not telling you when you were young, but I suppose the simplest way I can put it, Eurydice, is I've lived a long and a doubled life. Your mother knew about it. See, well, yes, I was a farmer. When we lived outside of Wheat Hill, I served a greater purpose here.
You see, as he sort of gestures out one of the windows, sort of molded into the tree trunk that you're in,
That crystal out there serves as an entry point into the Feywild. And there are times when entities try to either attack it, break it, consume it, or come through it. And I am the Rift Ward who watches over this place. And there are times when I need to go in. I need to protect this place. And I was gone for such a long time. There's a darkness growing in the Feywild. And I fought for as long as I could until I had to come back, and when I came back, they said you were dead. You had burned in a fire. That my wife had burned in a fire. All that was left was my sister. And when I saw her, I knew it wasn't her. And so for the past 2 years, I've been trying to do everything I can to figure out how to stop it. Now there were stories and I heard your name and you're here. When I was told that there was a dark elf man and a young girl who'd found their way into the city, I knew that couldn't be a coincidence. But you're here. You found your way back.
You were in the Feywild for 18 years.
Well, I was in the Feywild for 47, but the time gets a little odd.
Oh, right, okay.
No, but don't worry. It does a number on your skin. It's great for the complexion, the Feywild is.
You said that you were dead. They told me you died in the same fire as me.
My sister was always jealous of what I had, what I was given. I thought this one thing I could trust her with. something that meant so much to me. I thought that worst comes to worst, she could take care of you. That's why we made her your godmother. But I was wrong. All the wisdom that I have, I trusted her too much. And suppose now she's no longer with us. That doesn't matter.
She was trying to make deals with the Dark One.
She was what?
She tried to... She didn't want me around. She tried to make a deal so they...
Oh.
And it got messed up, and... Oh...
No.
There's so many things I need to tell you about.
Well, here, you don't need to do it in front of all of these people. The rest of you, as he shouts out to the table, I want the three of you to go on another scouting party through the crystal. Make sure that any of those creatures that were approaching before, make sure that they are not coming back. If they do, take them out. You two, sweep the area around the hunters' area, please. We need to make sure that no one followed them. The last thing we need is more Children of the Flame to figure out where we are. And let alone Children of the Flame, but any of whoever is pretending to be the Aura, that's the last thing we want. Got it? They'll resound with a yes, sir. And head out. You at a seat, please. Follow me. The rest of you, you're welcome to accompany us. And, looking to Keothi, being so caught up with seeing his daughter not really ready to see this other, obviously, important. And he sort of nods his head. It has been a long while since I've even heard of any Kalukathu Goliath anywhere near these areas. So, Zahodala, glory to you. And Keothi kind of does the same, like fist to her chest. It's been a while since someone said that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, of course. Please, follow us. So, with that, the rest of you are allowed to follow Rodan and Eurydice to a smaller, more homely part of the area. Don't you talk about her dad like that! That's just
Compliments! Compliments! All good things!
Also, sorry, I forgot to change it to this, because this is what the area looks like. Forgot to do that.
I can't believe you.
Mubby. All right. So there we go.
Meanwhile, Nal's regretting that comment he made 1,000 years ago about meeting your parents. And then she's like, yeah, lol, they're dead, and now they're not.
Yeah. Oh, God. That's hilarious. Okay, cool. So with that, all of you follow Rodan back around that table, and you can see that it is a map of the Riverlands, and specifically the northern regions of Iverion. And you can see a couple of different small wooden figurines in different areas, not just in the Riverlands, but also spread out a little bit. You can see small crystals on pedestals in 3 different places in this northern area, which leads you to believe that there are 3 different portals to the Feywild spread out throughout just the northern region of Iverion. So with that, you walk past the hearth and back into a smaller, much more homely area of the Huntsman's Lodge. As you can see that there is a large fireplace sort of crackling, a couple of like benches and couches, finely made from wood, where like I said, the wood almost looks like it's just been pulled or melded or shifted, or nothing seems carved. It all seems like it's literally just been like spoken to, and the wood just moved to create these things. As you all sit down, Rodan sits right next to Eurydice, wherever that is, and says,
So, I'm very eager to hear whatever you wish to speak. Whatever it is, know that, Eurydice, I'm here. And if it's in my power, I will do everything I can to help you.
Eurydice looks very much in shock, but she also kind of gives everyone else at the table. Because there's a very awkward detail that she kind of started the. And she obviously doesn't know how to say that. But she's gonna start with. So a lot. Apparently a lot of stories about Asmodeus. First of all, kind of getting involved, and then the lights, like Nabid Taman, and the Dark One. I don't know how much you know about any of that.
A little bit here and there. Obviously, whatever is infecting the Feywild has something to do with, what was the name they used in the Feywild? There are contacts we have there. For the most part, I believe they refer to him as Ritan, but the Dark One's still the same.
I spoke to someone, and obviously I have these tattoos. She kind of just like holds her arm out.
Yes.
Someone from a group of people said that I have these because of I'm something called a Dawnbreaker. And there is this almost reincarnation of power, and that's apparently me. But everything got really messed up because Asmodeus found out who was going next one and somehow got in the way. The thing he told me was that deal with I don't know if it's true.
Well, that is a lot to take in, you're right. But nothing too much. I'm sure, considering the path you've taken in life, whether it be of your own volition or of a path thrust upon you, whatever it may be, I'm sure that you have had many people tell you about the weave, the pattern, the order events must take. Fate, destiny, all of that, I'm sure, correct? It isn't false, by any stretch of the imagination, that great people or great entities, titles, to be passed down, not by lineage or by great honors, but by the will of the weave. It does what it wants to, and all we can do is react to it, and allow the weave to take us on the journey that it will. And then when it's done with us, then we can rest. So, if your journey on the weave is that Asmodeus tries to corrupt you, tries to change you, tries to lie to you to get him to get what he wants, well, then that's the pattern, and that's the way the weave is shaping. But if you've also been told that you are this Dawnbreaker, which I've never heard of. But if you are that, and you have had people tell you that you would trust more than Asmodeus, well, wouldn't you rather believe them than him? Even when you were little, I knew that you were going to do great things. Granted, all those years ago, I thought that you were going to do great things like work at the college and get an education and be a renowned professor. I never thought that you would be a dawnbreaker tied to the first flame of existence. But regardless, I know that I'm going to be one proud dad. Because I know you have what it takes to overcome this.
I want you to be proud. That's all I ever wanted.
Well, Eurydice, I already am proud of you. After everything...
I thought you were dead this whole time. I didn't know that. And I don't know if I really did or not. I made I messed up. I made a deal with him. He gave me these powers, or let me use them. Flame, I don't know. But I did really awful things for him because he told me that he would give me my parents. I spoke to Mum. She told me that things weren't my fault, but I did so many awful things just to get you two back and trying to make it all okay because I felt like it was all my fault. I have this power. I probably started the fire. That's why Ayara tried to get rid of me. She knew I was dangerous.
The fire at the farm.
And the ones in Weed Hill.
You can see that that is definitely something that he wasn't expecting to hear. He doesn't, shirk away from you, Eurydice. He nods, and he's silent for a long while as he's processing. Not angry, no emotion is visible, just very stone.
While it is tragic, and my heart breaks to know that your mother in that fire, Eurydice, is not your fault. You have to know that. You would have been, what? 6 or 7 at the time when that happened? I've missed your mother every single day since I knew she was gone. And I've missed you every single day since I thought you were gone. I never thought I would see either one of you again. That the 2 things that made me happiest in this world were gone. And now here I am, one of those people back in front of me. We all make mistakes. And when the pattern puts us on such a journey, those mistakes are going to cascade throughout time and space. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people are going to be affected by just deciding what town you're going to stop in. What matters, though, Eurydice, is what happens from this moment on. We've both been lied to. We have both been hurt. We both miss her so much. But now what we need to do is we need to look forward. What can we do to honor her memory and to make sure something like this never happens again? I love you, Eurydice. And regardless of what you've done, I'm just so happy you're back here with me.
I'm really happy to have a dad, so...
Oh, and I'm so happy to have a daughter again. Oh, and he'll squeeze you really tightly. Oh.
I'm really glad that I came here with you guys, because otherwise, he wouldn't have known. And she points at her friends. They are really great friends. I wouldn't have been able to do any of this without them.
So we have the Kalukatho, Keothi is my name. Keothi.
This is Lila. She's from the college.
Lila, I can tell, in Eladrin, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, do you know you're tethered to the Feywild? The connection you have?
I do, actually. And I actually have a few questions for you, too, especially being the Rift Warden. I've never been to the Feywild. I always wanted to go. I know that there are very more important things going on, but I cannot pretend that that is not somewhere at the front of my mind. And actually, are you familiar with Ilromlil Tatiana? I'm sure you are.
Oh. Yes, Tatiana,
That's my last name.
Of course, yes. You had said... Sorry, Eurydice had just said that. I didn't...
It's all right.
Clock.
The first planar correspondent. So
yes,
I
he was. What was the name we gave him? Bridgemaker. He was one of the first people in these quadrants of the Feywild that we had never even been to, explored, never been seen before. He was
pretty incredible.
It is,
but yeah, I've never been, and first Eladrin born, and my family sends him, so just feel like there's a lot of mystery there for me. So if maybe like a short little like tour or visit could be really cool. She's trying the best as she can to like contain.
After everything is settled in Wheat Hill, I'm sure that's something we can arrange. It's just time dilation in the Feywild is a little strange.
Yeah.
I just need to be careful about
vaguely
that.
Familiar, not experienced. I studied it though, so.
Like to say though, you don't how do I put this? You don't seem that similar to the Eladrin who have who their main roots are in the Feywild. Your tattoos, I suppose I should say.
Oh, these are new. From today. it's been a wild adventure. This is actually part of after communing with Corellian, my god, I ended up, just in the midst of everything. This happened. So don't really know the rhyme or reason why, but I know how it happened, so.
Yes.
Oh, and that can be enough about me. I'm sorry.
The last thing I'll say is the tattoos are normal gifts from
Oh.
Corellian or maybe other Fey Wardens that Eladrin receive. Your great-great-grandfather, if I remember correctly, he was covered in these deep green tattoos of vines that would constantly move and shift. A symbol of his connection.
Wow.
Yours looks different. Reminds me of the stars. I don't know what that means, but...
I've dedicated my whole life to studying the stars. So, don't know if that plays into that, where your studies lie, maybe.
Well, after all this is settled, we can still go to the Feywild, but I have a feeling you should probably be spending your time looking upwards, not two different dimensions, but it's always fun to see the chaotic energies that exist within the Feywild.
Thank you so much. And she's gonna just try and whew.
Okay, and this is Twig. Twig, you can introduce yourself however you'd like. Just kind of giving her a look like she's not sure what you want her to say and not say.
Twig. I mean, she's small, but I think Branch or even Root would be a more appropriate name.
Maybe.
That's so fucking cute. Oh my god.
Because I'm able to respond to that.
Wait, Forrester, I wasn't gonna interrupt because I feel like there was a whole thing going here, but I mean, Lila was also asking questions, so I just figure I may as well too. I'm sorry, you don't know Nullivia, do you? He's another Fey Warden, and so I thought maybe, and I know he's been helping with this whole blight or whatever is in the Feywild.
The Black Rose, yes. I know him. I haven't spoken with him in a while, but last I knew, he had chosen a life of he sacrificed a large part of himself so he could tether himself to the material plane. He said he had fallen in love. I think, granted the Feywild is a large place, but last I knew that apparently something went wrong there. And whatever tied him to the material plane and shattered. Now, there's a rumor that he spends most of his times on the fringes of the Feywild, fighting against an endless tide of darkness. Sorry that you had to hear that from me. It seems like you cared about him a great deal. So, Forrester,
Oh,
like...
well, it's not. I mean, to be fair, I barely know him.
Is it that, oh, what was that story? Kythen, correct? Forrester. The one who planted all the trees.
I think so. I think a friend mentioned something about him.
Yes, yes, that's right. One of the founders of that house. Oh. Yes, I of course never met him. That was long before my time. But, although he was human, he's very respected between myself and the other Rift Wardens. Kyvan himself was a Rift Warden, actually. There was a portal that was destroyed some time ago. That belonged to his name. Well, sorry, I don't mean to be so drab. This is supposed to be a happy time. I apologize. I know how painful lies and deceit can be. Try to be as honest as I can.
What is Twig's expression right now?
Yeah, I was doing.
I think honestly she's trying to work it out. Like, I wouldn't say it's exactly like, you know, I think just straight up confusion, but just trying to mute it is probably the best way.
Yeah. Okay.
Does she look like she wants to be left alone?
I mean, no, not necessarily. I feel like it's just obvious that she's just thinking about things.
Processing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, and that must mean that you are, Nalfian Bainir, right?
Nalfian of House Forrester, and he'll extend his hand to shake.
And Rodan will shake your hand. A knight, I see. No.
Yep, that's... Yeah. We're still getting used to it.
He's a really good knight. He plays himself down, but he's very good at it.
The Feywild and the Underdark tend to butt heads quite a bit. But I can just tell. You're a good man, Nalfian.
Well,
you can always see it in someone's eyes.
I appreciate that coming from you. I really do. I'll be honest. Myself and the Underdark we don't necessarily get along either. I haven't been there in years. I don't plan on it.
Oh.
But I appreciate it.
I typically find those that are considered outcasts of the Underdark are friends I want to have. So it's good to have you here, Nalfian.
Alfian will nod. And I hate to cut pleasantries short, but with everything that was being said, and I'm sure you're well aware of everything that's going on, we can also agree that clearly we're all in this room not fans of Draven Hunt, right?
No. No, quite the
Great.
opposite, in fact.
You know what? I think we're gonna be great friends. And Alpha kind of like shoot him a smile.
He'll return it.
So, if that's the case, what do you know about the nightmares that are happening in town?
Well, in fact, that's something I'm hoping to have a bit of a development on this evening. For a time, it was quite elusive to find anyone related to them, to track them down. All we had was the vivid imagery, the knowledge that it was done through some type of spellcaster. Some of my more naturalistic druids, they had investigated the water sources, and they found that the water had been contaminated. An ingredient known as marsh poisonberry. This thing that causes these nightmares to seem more potent. And if enough is eaten or drank, then it can cause someone to pass out immediately, fall asleep. So, knowing that, we tried to find people who may have been dealing in these goods and services. They were able to, partway, perform an investigation that led us to a set of ruins in the northern mountains. Seemed to be dwarvish of a kind. So, they investigated further, and well, they found someone. And they returned with a message from said someone. That sometime tonight, well after the sun has gone down, that they would like to have a meeting with me.
This person that they found in this ruin.
Yes.
Any terms or conditions to that? Doesn't sound like the most welcoming invitation.
No, they were willing to come here
Oh.
by themselves. No guards, no weaponry, no nothing. Which that to me is a little suspicious, so I'm assuming there's some type of mage or sorcerer, wizard of some kind, where they don't exactly need weapons to be dangerous. Part of me
But
is
it's believed that they're the source of all this.
well, they're at least connected to it if they're not the source. But, as I'm sure if you're half as smart as I believe you to be, I'm sure you already know that the nightmares haven't been deadly at all. They've just been getting people out of the city. Which is a good thing to a degree, as the Children of the Flame will be less likely to kill people if they're not in the city. But the less people that are in the city, more corrupted it's prone to get. The more dark friends that arrive in that city, the more likely they may be to find our home here. To find this lodge. To find that rift. And that's the last thing I want to have happen. So people leaving is good for them. People leaving is bad for us. So we need to find some type of middle ground of a sort.
Because it's clear that Hunt doesn't want to be leaving anytime soon.
No. If it's anything like what I've heard about his other work, I'm sure that it will end with this city being burned down, with all the good people left inside and all the dark friends outside.
Actually, I was kind of sent here by Asmodeus to burn down. He said that he knew about all the corruption. He said it was he wanted me to come and just burn it down, not investigate or anything. Get rid of the whole.
It's interesting. So perhaps to him, if the darkness and corruption is destroyed, this source of the Dark One's power, and several hundred, maybe 1,000 good people need to die, then that's an alright sacrifice. Yes, I'm sure that that is something he would say. Tell me, Dawnbreaker, what do you want to do? What do you think's best?
I decided not to do that, obviously.
That is a good first step.
I wanted to investigate and see if I could fix it without having to do that, but I don't know. We talked to a corpse this morning, actually. One of the 3 that was hanged by the Children of the Flame. Apparently these this woman we spoke to, she was killed for being a dark friend. She wasn't. And they tortured her for hours, and when they finally killed her, Draven Hunt, he was there, he was laughing. There was and they killed her.
The Banshee killed her.
Draven Hunt. We're very sure he's a dark.
Well, that's new information even to me. That's good. That's really good. I mean, it's not good that that's true, but it's good that we know that now.
Yeah.
God.
But we can't call him out on it. Because, the whole town's corrupt. He just needs to point at us and go that we're dark friends. We've instantly got over 100 children.
Well, should it come to it, considering the state of things in the Feywild, I myself and a good portion of the wardens here cannot leave. But I could confidently send 50 with you, if it does come down to that.
I think we are trying our best to avoid an all-out conflict. But we do have, thanks to Keothi, another group of individuals willing to help. Plus, if you are willing to send men with you, it's not a bad idea as a reserve plan.
We also still have everyone in the Temple of the Divines. I mean, fighters, frontliners, no, but that could be our stronghold. I know that we want this to be our last option, but there's a lot, guys.
I'm afraid that if Draven Hunt is a dark friend, if he's truly doing what the Dark One requests of him, and also this woman or thing pretending to be my sister, I'm afraid they will only accept defeat in one way. And that's an arrow in their throat. Or a rapier. Or a spell. Whatever your preferred method is.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset with it. I want you all to be very aware. The moment I get the opportunity to kill that man, I'm going to. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure we're all making the right call. That's all.
So, then, Nalfian, have you commanded soldiers in battle then?
Yeah.
Sorry, what'd you say?
He said I have.
Good. Good. Experience is good.
Wait, if we're gonna fight them, wouldn't that just make the rest of the Children of the Flame, I don't know, target things?
Well, perhaps. But all of you said that you have proof, evidence, so to speak, that Draven Hunt is a dark friend. And if my logic is correct, I understand that the Children of the Flame is a rather backwards organization when it comes to some of these things, but should they have proof that Draven Hunt is a dark friend, then shouldn't they thank you for your services?
One would think.
What if others are like Draven?
That's what we're expecting, actually, that his followers in the Children of the Flame are not children. They're all dark friends. That's our theory
But-
right now.
At
And
least
even
we know
people
that-
outside of Draven, though, right?
Well,
I mean,
no,
not just
we-
the people that work for him.
if we assume that not all, we know that that other woman, she is somehow connected to the Children of the Flame. She doesn't. I trust her, and she can talk to the Lightbearer.
And Keothi
Well-
has friends as well in the Children of the Flame that don't
Yes,
like
you said.
Draven.
Didn't you say some of them helped save you?
They did. In fact, I think that 2 of them are senior kindled, so, I think that's
Right.
fairly high ranking. I'm not exactly sure. I don't quite remember.
It sounds fancy.
It does.
I mean,
So-
if we can get the right people on our side, if they can believe us, if they'll take the evidence that we have, I mean, this is what I was saying with them earlier. Draven Hunt, and I'm sure you know, is a master manipulator. So if we're gonna do this, we just gotta make sure all of our cards are in hand first. And Eurydice has this friend who has a higher position than Hunt. And if Keo, you have these friends as well, maybe a combined effort would be better than just one or two people knowing.
If there's enough reputable sources, then I see why not. Granted, a lot of things that people do in other parts of the world don't make very much sense to me, but how can they say no to this much evidence? This many sources claiming that he is what he is. And on top of that, it's the truth. Nothing else.
And if anything, they would at least investigate it. I mean, you can't just not. I mean, they are children of the flame. Some of them have to be working for the light.
And there's always, the truth spell. If we ever need to defend ourselves, I can cast that and we can all choose to fail. It's influence check, and we will be able to prove ourselves. Or if he makes it out alive, she says that kind of like with a little bit of, ugh.
Oh,
We can cast it on him too, and everything's out.
Do we know that doing this will stop the nightmares, though?
well, I
We
think
don't.
that's what we'll have to find out from our friend who's coming to meet with us tonight.
Dad, you know, I felt weird to say.
No,
I was-
no, it's, and he kind of grabs your hand and squeezes it. It's perfect.
The infection in the ground. Do you know anything about that? It's at the temple, and it's at our house, the farm.
When I went back to the home after I came back, I saw it. It was small at that point. Not but a small plant or shrub that was just decayed slightly. And it's grown considerably. I think that perhaps if I were able to get 2 of my most powerful druids in there, one in the city and then one at the farm, I think they could cleanse the land. The only downside is that leaves me very vulnerable here. Which, if they're only gone for a few hours, that would be fine, but getting anyone in there for a sustained period of time is difficult. The ritual is time-consuming. I think that it can be removed. But I would need to make sure that people stay here with me to keep this portal intact and whatever comes out. So maybe then our strategy is to deal with the dark friends that are currently in Wheat Hill. Then, once stasis has been achieved, I send those 2 druids to deal with the corruption, and then all of you stay here with me. And if anything does come out in that time, we fight it off until the druids can get back.
Right. Do you know why it's at home and at the temple, but not at Ayara's house? 'Cause I can't figure that out.
Wait. You said that my sister, your aunt, that she was a servant of the Dark One, right?
Apparently she was talking to him, trying to make them take me away.
And that fire that happened at our house, that was something you thought you caused, right?
Yeah, Asmodeus.
And you told me, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Joe.
Yeah.
But you told me that Asmodeus knew who you were going to be before you were born.
Yeah. Lady Maisa, she said that kind of power takes a long time to transfer. He figured it out, but he already knew who it was going to be. Then he got in the way. He messed with it.
I don't know if it's the same, but it's worth a shot in thinking about. Fey Wardens of different kinds, Nalavir is the same way, and others, whenever they create something that is a close connection to them, there is a satyr, Fey Ward, who they thrive off of, as a very vivid example, debauchery. Anytime that is happening somewhere and they caused it, they gain power from that. So, pain and anguish and manipulation were caused at those 2 places where Day did something. Asmodeus did something that caused you to do something you knew, that he knew you would regret. Burning down that temple. And then on top of that, destroying your family home, something that wasn't your fault. But he knew you would blame yourself for. But then my sister, after everything she put you through, I wouldn't blame you if you felt joy setting fire to that building. Or at least relief. He doesn't gain anything from that. You're not being manipulated or lied to. He's getting what he wants, but he's not gaining power from it. So my thought is, those 2 places he gained power from. He grew stronger. The Dark One didn't like that. So where there were places of power for Asmodeus, we've seen it in the Feywild. In places of power, he can seep through the weave. These caustic bubbles, they fill up an entire area and cause it to grow sick. And after a certain amount of time, then it's not just sick ground that infects everything that it touches, but things start to come through it. Monstrous creatures of the Dark One's own creation begin to emerge from there. Now knowing what I know that Asmodeus did to you, perhaps then the Dark One turned Day's power into his own gain. Maybe that's why Day wanted you to level the whole place. If he couldn't have it, that power, then no one could.
Okay, that makes sense. That's something that... Okay. At least they're not working together.
Oh, no, the two of them? Oh, no. That would be an alliance doomed to fail, I tell you. You know, I've heard that maybe 2,000 years ago, Day was slain. His corpse was cast away into the astral plane. And through one mistake of one jester, he was brought back. Of course, Jester realized that he made one too many bad jokes and tried to right those wrongs, but now Asmodeus is back. If I weren't tied to this location, what I wouldn't give.
You and me both, bud.
But now isn't the time for vengeance. Now is the time to protect these people who have no choice to what happens to their town, their home.
Well, I say we meet with your friend. And hell, maybe we're going to war tomorrow.
Well, if that's the case, then I'll call in those wardens who will be going with you. We can figure out a battle plan. But
Eurydice, you should let your friend
Well-
know as well.
What about the people that are still innocent and just in the middle of this?
perhaps you said that you would talk to the bishop, the temple. Could they go there for
Mhm.
safety, perhaps?
We do still have two friends, both pretty good at talking to people and knowing their way around a conversation, that can maybe do their best to seek out who really is just innocent and just lost, trying to be okay. Maybe we could get them to hide there.
So then you already have two people on the inside. Do you trust them to be able to, say, at night, sneak towards the gatehouse?
Lila's gonna look to everybody. I know Blossom can, but do we trust Al?
We're trusting Alistair.
Uh,
Maybe under Blossom's direction.
Yeah.
He's not completely hopeless, but
Wait. Blossom.
Mm-hmm.
A satyr, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Wait.
know it?
Is this the rift that she came from?
No, it's not. But I...
Dang. Thought it was gonna be real cool there. Whatever.
No, it's not, but... She's somewhat of a, I don't know, a legend with Rift Wardens.
Well, then you know we can trust her.
Yes, I would be more than happy to.
Well, maybe we can make that Blossom's job, and Alistair can try and get people into the temple.
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Keothi and I can let them know, and fill in the bishop as well.
If
Again.
one of you helps me, I can talk to that woman in a hidden flame. Just so maybe she knows. I don't want them to hear there's some kind of attack going start already.
Yeah. We can easily do that. I'll help you.
Thanks.
Since Keo didn't jump at the opportunity.
Thanks, Keo.
No, sorry, Joe was thinking about something. Keo would have been like,
It's
oh my
fine.
god, yes, please let me help you.
No, it's fine. Keo can just do to Blossom and Bishop, and I can do it to Alistair and then this other person.
Okay, Lady Maisa.
Mm-hmm. She's very cool.
All right.
I feel like Asmodeus is... I don't know how he's going to feel about this. Totally.
Who cares?
Well, I mean, you're... Well, actually, you know what? I like Lila's answer better.
In fact, that's what I was going to say. What's the worst that he could do? If he's going to take away your powers... I mean, honestly, Eurydice is... Knowing everything now, is that something you'd want to keep?
No. But some comfort in knowing that they're not all from him. I was told that I need to break away from the chains he has on me anyway. There's something else, I can feel it, I just get to it now.
Wait a minute. I think that we might be able to throw them off balance with that. Day, Asmodeus, is very powerful, we know that. He's the tyrant king of the Nine Hells. The Dark One knows when powerful entities are meddling in things that he cares about. Do you think that you could get Day to appear near Wheat Hill?
Definitely. Yeah, I was meant to go and talk to him at the house, at the farmhouse.
Maybe that's what you do. You talk to him. And that's our signal. Whatever may happen there, that's what sets this all off. You offset dark friends that are in Wheat Hill. They start to whisper about Asmodeus coming. And instead of Asmodeus coming, there's someone else that rides with the dawn. Not Hellfire, but Balefire.
Yeah. Assuming I'll be fine with everything that happened today. It's just a lot.
It
You know,
is.
confronting Day.
It is, and you can see your father turn to you and sort of grab both of your hands and looks you right in the eyes and says,
I know this is a lot, Eurydice. But you are so strong. And I know you don't think it, but you are so much stronger than him. All you need to do is believe in yourself. Look at them.
and he points to your friends.
I've known these people for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I can see how much love they have for you, how much they believe in you. Look at them. Feel that way about yourself. You've earned it. I promise.
Yeah. This will be fine. This will be great. We are going to fight the Dark One, and we're gonna save Wheat Hall.
Exactly. We're going to fight Osmodeus and the Dark One, all for some farming village with a wall. That's right.
Get wrecked! Hey. The light wins, we got a wall.
Fuck yeah, they don't stand a chance against the fucking wall.
Oh, God.
Love
it. Love it. Alrighty. So with that, the smiling and all of you smile and share a laugh with one another as a ranger enters the room. The same halfling that sort of had guided all of you here and says,
Rodan, I have,
and seeing all of you laughing feels bad for interrupting.
I apologize for the interruption. I didn't mean to, No, it's fine. Denrin, don't worry about it. So, what did you, come to say? Is a guest here? Yes, Rodan, he's, would you like me to, send him in?
And you can see Rodan looks to the group of you and says,
Well, would you like to meet him?
Yeah, seems like a good enough time.
Nelf nods.
All right. Send him in. Of course, just as a forewarning, he's, a little strange. Like nothing I've ever seen before. Very well. Send him in.
that nods and exits the room. A few moments later, you can see the door open. And indeed, it is definitely someone very, very strange looking. Humanoid, bipedal, longer arms and legs, wearing all black. This sort of like maybe scaled like fish scales a little bit around the neck, but you can see around the face there are these like almost like chitinous, almost like exoskeleton a bit, these hard flaps around the mouth and these sort of tendrils, not tendrils, but these fins that sort of come off the back of the head, all focused back. And you can see those sort of scales along the neck and back of the head as you see someone a lot like this enter. Very, very, very alien.
Hmm?
You can see them enter, and they begin to speak. Seeing all of you, they are taken back a bit and say,
When I told you to leave the city, I didn't exactly have this in mind.
Oh.
As you can see, there's this odd, like, modulation. There's this odd change to their voice, very different than anyone else that you have ever heard.
But I suppose if you are who you are, and you're here, then perhaps then our odds are better than I thought.
And you can see Rodan sort of lean forward, head cocked a little bit, and say, "Well then, go ahead. Explain." And as the man you assume to be Ephran begins to speak, to explain who he is, what he is, and why he's here, that is where we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session. Yay!
Damn.
Woo!
Fucking
Pathfinder,
damn.
Starfinder, shit are we in? We
Everybody-
just went to space, lads.
Everybody kept saying he was alien, like he was alien looking.
I didn't think
Think
you meant
actually alien. I thought you meant like
Yeah.
different.
Hey man,
Yeah.
have you
fucking
never,
predator looking ass.
Have you never seen the like Gith Yankee and Gith Zerai? They also look pretty alien.
Oh.
They're
He's
literally
a
mind
Gith.
flayers. Oh
Like, why
man!
is it from the Underdark?
Listen, the what? No, they're not. They live in the astral sea.
Okay.
They have like giant. It's those nautiloid ships. They sail through the astral sea. They do exist in the Underdark.
But they also live in the, okay, yeah.
They live in
Who's
both.
on-
They live in both, but they're also space aliens from the astral sea.
Well,
Go read the Forgotten Realms wiki, okay? All right, okay. Also,
here.
this is Illica, so fuck you. I can do what I want. All right.
it's fantastic.
Thank you all
Joe.
for
Just a little
watching. It's been a
unexpected.
wonderful time.
Session.
It's been a great session. Till this last part where you criticize the art that I use for a thing.
No, I love it. I think it's alien.
Criticizing.
It's cool. We're
We're
just
not
having a good time.
criticizing. We're
No,
just
I was
like, what the
vibing.
fuck?
We were just
Yeah.
shook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and get ready
I
for
think
what
it's
he's
what you
about to say
wanted.
next time, because this shit gets weirder.
Oh.
Woo! All right,
Oh.
thanks for
Lots
watching,
of
everybody.
questions.
We'll see you next time.
you.